Outstanding stuff, people. So, up next, we have Chokocchi, who's going to go on a quest, if you will, of defeating Final Fantasy X-2 in Japanese with any percentage of completion. So, without further ado, I will hand it over to Chokocchi, who's going to be doing some gaming. Take it away, Chokocchi.
Hello. I am indeed going to be doing some gaming. So, without further ado, we do actually start from console on. So, are we all ready to go on your end? All right. Okay, in that case, I will start on 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's get this. Is my game turning on? Yes. Yatta! Alrighty. Now, because we start from console on, it just means that we're checking for anything like pre-game manips, things like that, making sure there's no funny business involved. We want a clean, pure speedrun.
Do you have a memory card plugged in?
I do not.
Good. 8 seconds saved there.
There we go. It's beautiful. And now we vibe for like 3.5
Several minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So, we get a dance party.
Oh, hello, Whiskey.
We get a dance party with the boy. With the sweet boy. So there's 2 songs in the game. This is the first of 2 songs. And yeah, we get to vibe with the man who's been to the vet today. He's been to the vet. He was a very good boy at the vet. He probably won't have a dance, but he will listen respectfully to the song. And so yeah, we do have to sit through 2 quite long cutscenes, but it's great because it means that because it's a relatively you're gonna go goodbye. Because it's a relatively long game, it does mean we get some breaks. So usually not the first one so much, but the second one is kind of right before your big boss rush. That does mean you have a nice for a JRPG runner, it's a nice bathroom break, or if you need water, food, whatever it may be, it's the best break for it. He's got 4-ish minutes in the second one. However, this game is full of lots of fun techniques and lots of fun strats. This is my favorite game, as you can probably see. And Sayo has been running this game for a little bit too, so I've got him popping in for commentary whenever he feels up to it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've loved this game ever since I was really young. And one of the reasons that I loved the game was because we got music. Yeah, we got some great songs, some great tunes, some bangers, if you will. Dactyly, what can I do for you? I wonder. Yes, it is the question that's going to be on everyone's lips. What can I do for you? But yeah, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It has a variety of different categories. JP is one of the ones which is probably the most straightforward of all of the categories. We'll get into the strats and stuff in a little bit. I don't want to go too hard on the explanations too early, but pretty straightforward. We use a lot of catnip. The cat motif is coming in with my boy being here pretty early. Yeah, so we use catnip, which is an accessory that will basically max out our damage, and we can use it from very early in the game in this version, but it's only in this version and not in the other versions, so it's really important that we get this. So yeah, I feel like we'll get into it. For now, just think of it as it's one of the first sequels for a Final Fantasy game, so it is bizarre. And when it came out, it was widely hated because it was so tonally different from Final Fantasy X, which was very somber, and this is a bit more like Yuna's here to party, clearly, right? Even though, spoiler alert, this isn't Yuna, so it's fine. If you haven't played it yet, get out of here. But yes, I'm very, very excited to be running in Syothon. So let's do Mr. Sire proud. We get to play the game now. There's gonna be a couple of moments where we sit here for a little bit and we're just like, yeah, when do I get to play the game? We get to play it now. So you'll get to see some of the first mechanics that we're starting to use early on in the game to start off with. Firstly, we're going to try to... This is LeBlanc. We'll meet her a little bit later, very closely. But basically, we want to take her out because she's like pretending to be Yuna currently. She's stolen our stuff and we want it back. So we're going to take her out in just a moment. But pretty much, we're going to try and hope that she turns around. Because if she turns around while she's dancing, we'll get some extra damage. But if we get really, really quick ATVs, we might just kill one of the goons really quickly. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so part of the
we
battle
need Pain's
system
ATV
where,
for that.
back-turned enemies deal extra, get extra damage dealt to them.
We didn't quite have fast ATVs there, so that's fine. We'll just deal.
Yeah. We can't really take out the goons first because the blind will just kill them.
So yeah, ideally it's nice if you can kill a goon there, just because it means that you're getting attacked less, which means you're getting your turns a bit faster. That means she's dead, which is nice. Nice crit there. But these goons are really, really getting their turns in quickly. But that's why we want to take one out first, because when she casts her little spell on them at the start, they speed up a little bit. And they start to regenerate themselves as well. It's not too threatening at this point in time, but, you know, if you were a higher level, they'd be regenerating a little bit faster. So.
This game, I think, also is the first in the series that had skippable cutscenes built in. Sort of taking on the trend of, like, Kingdom Hearts and such. Yeah. So
yeah, because I think you can't really skip any in 10, right?
You can't. You can, in the HD remaster, you can skip FMVs and that's it.
Yeah.
And not even all of them.
It was a budget grenade.
Yeah, so we want to steal those. Another budget.
Yeah, so
excellent.
I like to steal a couple through here. It's just like a little bit of safety for later. So it just means that I don't have to rely on getting them later. It doesn't take that much time. And just because we are in a marathon setting, I'm just opting for safety over anything else. We want to try to hug the wall to avoid those goons. I didn't do that very well, but it's fine. So long as you dodge them, generally you're okay. So yeah, it's a bit, what's the word? Like, unusual, but I do like to steal. I will be stealing a few more grenades in the next little section as well.
I think it's correct to stack them early. Yeah.
Honestly, it's so fast. It takes a little bit of time, but it's good for later on.
So for gill routing, we're looking for some steals there. We got one of them from Logos, which is silver glasses. So we can now safely steal him.
Twice. Yeah. And then we'll take out Ormi as well.
Yeah.
Just tomorrow. After Logos screams.
This game does have a mechanic in the battle system as well, which you might have already picked up on, which is the little 2 chain, 3 chain, so and so are popping up above enemies' heads. Enemies take hit stun, so if you they have like an actual hit stun animation, so if you do hit them during that, you can actually chain together attacks and straight up stun lock a lot of bosses. It's mostly only able to be used early, but it makes the thief class really good because they'll attack at this sort of 1-2 pace.
Yeah.
And it's just enough time to actually let the other girls' ATVs refill, and yeah, very literally just stun lock the boss.
Yeah. So it's until the animation ends, from what I'm aware of. So depending on how long like the hit animation is, once that animation ends, then basically the chain will drop. Because sometimes it's after the numbers go away. Like I remember when I was initially learning, people were teaching me about the numbers and whatnot, but it's not quite the numbers, because slightly after they fade away, you can still chain. It's actually the hit animation, from what I'm aware of. Yeah, and ideally we want to chain. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're right. We want to chain on LeBlanc here so that she doesn't get her little thunder attack off because she's going to cast a spell shortly. But we managed to dodge that, so that's very nice. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, I was going to say the purpose of the chain is part one of it is to show how many like attacks you've got. But the higher the chain, the more damage each attack will actually deal. So that can be super useful as well on little Boris.
Little Boris.
Little baby Boris.
Little baby Boris. Yeah. I think this was one of the first. I think this was possibly the first run even that I did at a marathon. So.
It was, yeah. It was Oz Speedruns Marathon 2022. You did Final Fantasy X-2 JP.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice to be revisiting it now that I've had a bit more practice. I've got my PB up since. It has been a while since I've run this game, but I've done some practice over the week and a little bit before that as well. And yeah, I think we're feeling good. The muscle memory is still there from as much as I have I have run this game, and it's all with different categories and capacities.
Yeah, you can see Chokocchi's got a nice stack of all the various versions of X-2 over to the side there.
It's my little shrine.
The shrine.
It's the shrine, while the candles are around it.
There's a weird amount of skill in cutscene skipping as well. Now, don't shoot me here. Let me explain. The skill is in sort of remembering which cutscenes you can skip, and in some cases, when. So even if a cutscene can be skipped, it can't always be skipped straight away. So an example is there's a cutscene you can skip with like a bunch of monks, and they appear on screen and you're like, oh, there's the monks, I can skip. Not quite. You have to wait for them to bow and then for their heads to come back up. And that's when you can skip. Or in some cases, it's, I can skip this cutscene. But yeah, like there might be a music cue, or when the camera angle changes to this angle, that's when you can skip. It's probably, honestly, this sounds really stupid, but it's kind of one of the harder aspects of this game, is just remembering every story beat and remembering every cutscene that you can skip.
I'm just going to lock in for a little menu here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a new garment grid and just changing all of my party members into the thief dress sphere. We want to do this just so that later on we have the first strike ability. This will help us later on when we do get to... That's not abilities. When we do get to some of the battles where we need to hit first, and we need to hit as quickly as we can, it basically gives us immediate initiative, so we can start the battle from the get-go and not be interrupted, which is nice. We want that.
You start with a full stick of butter on the ATB bar there.
Full stick of butter. It's exactly what we want. Yeah, so this is it's one of the main things that we use, and we actually get an item later on to do this when we need to change Yuna off the thief dress sphere, because we need to use her trigger happy ability on her gunner dress sphere later. That's why I put gunner on there as well, because we actually use the same garment grid the entire time. And as Saya mentioned before, with cutscene skips, there's also like certain bits of dialogue that you can and can't skip. So you could just sit here like mashing the entire time, but sometimes you want to give your thumb a rest. I can obviously use turbo because I have a turbo controller, and JP allows turbo. Most categories do these days, but there's no point sitting here mashing or even sometimes using turbo, because this game has text locking, which means that if you hit it before the audio comes in, I think it is, basically the text will lock onto the screen and you have to listen to the entire dialogue even if it was skippable. I think is that the right way to interpret that?
Yeah, it just doesn't allow you to skip the subtitles.
Yeah. And it means that sometimes it takes longer than if you weren't skipping.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you need to skip it just after you hear the dialogue, and then basically you can kind of skip over most things pretty safely. But there will be times where you might hit it at the wrong time and accidentally lock the text onto the screen. and force the dialogue to just play without being able to be skipped. It's a little bit frustrating at times, especially when you always hit the same one at the same time. This one is an example of one that we have to wait until we see LeBlanc, or that we see the scene change and LeBlanc walks in. That's where we have to wait for a cue to like, be able to skip the cutscene. My words aren't working today.
You got there.
I got there in the end.
We do have some steals here as well. We want to take out LeBlanc.
And we want to aim to chain with that grenade there as well. Because if we can chain with the grenade, we can potentially... No, we didn't. She was quite quick. She got her first turn in really quickly, so we didn't skip the fan there. But this one, yep, should do it. And then we're going to get some steals here. Oh, we missed one there. Oh, we got both now. This is... Oh, Yuna, hello. This is just for a bit of gill routing. I don't know how she died there. That's interesting. I've not really ever had someone die there.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it do that. So Ormi can actually be chained, but it's not really worth it in this particular fight.
Yeah.
It's just sort of whatever.
Yeah. And by that point, you only have one left, so you may as well just kind of go in and try and take him out as quickly as you can.
I think you did get a Phoenix down back there.
Yeah, which is good. I usually buy a whole bunch anyway.
Yeah, for... it's pretty
especially
funny.
For this scenario.
In other categories of Final Fantasy X too, your gil is actually relatively tight. But in this game, we need to buy literally one thing, and it's Charm Bangle. So all the other gills can just...
That's
and the wristbands, yes, that as well.
They're not necessary, but it's just a nice little damage boost to the start.
So like all the rest of the gil can just be dumped into Phoenix Downs to basically make it impossible to lose.
Yeah. Which is very handy. It just means that if we need to buy a whole bunch of Phoenix Downs, we just buy a whole bunch of Phoenix Downs. Especially for our marathon scenario, it's nice to have. So we get a couple of forced battles through here. We also start to get random encounters now. So we are going to get smacked with a couple. We've already gotten one. We basically just want to escape from these. These ones, though, we have to fight. But here, I'm actually going to steal. So we got a Phoenix down there. Unfortunate, but we got a grenade there. And I'm going to take out the goons first because they only take one hit, whereas the snakes take two. So I basically use the amount of hits to grab a couple of grenades. So we got a couple through there. And then we can finish the fight. But that's just where I like to grab a couple of extra ones because I know I can mostly reliably grab... You might get 1 or 2 Phoenix Downs, but you can usually grab up to 4 grenades there, which is pretty good. And so now we have to go through a bit of a maze. There's a couple of like little gil pickups here. Well, not gil pickups, but extra item pickups if you do miss any of the steals through here, which is always handy. You don't really need the wristbands per se, but if you do miss them, it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. So if you miss things, you can like fall down holes and grab chests and things like that. Just makes things a little bit easier. We've gotten pretty good on encounters so far. This is actually looking...
You should have known.
It was looking pretty good though.
You should have known.
We're not getting any encounters through the cave is really good. But this is a long section here of running, so you'll usually get an encounter, sometimes 2. I have had 3 on this section before. Pretty disgusting. But 2 encounters through there is really, really good. I'm also going to be a menace to society, and I'm going to grab more grenades through here. So we got 2. Because these ones, the snakes can be quick. got another grenade. Nice. But they're pretty slow for the most part, so it just means that like while we're taking things out, we can also just grab things while we're there. I kind of prefer this strat. I prefer using grenades. You can use another item that we'll actually pick up and we might put on as a backup, because if we do run out of grenades, it's not fun. But later on, we don't have basically the space to have a spare accessory on that can do the same thing as a grenade, so I need to conserve at least 2 for like some of the last couple of battles. So I do use them sparingly, but they're nice to have. It means some of the battles can go really, really fast and actually become quite safe. Sometimes the accessory that we use makes things a little bit trickier. I can never quite get my timing right. It's a bit tricky. But it does mean this section ends up being slightly longer, but that's fine. We can also do a little optimization here if we want a bit of extra damage. This also means that we don't accidentally sell this accessory later on. Pop the muscle belt on here and gives you a bit of extra damage. But not a lot of people like to do that, and I don't think it's widely done, but I don't know, it's fun. I'm having fun, who cares? I'm having fun and I'm going fast.
I discovered it's literally, at worst, net neutral. So there's no reason not to do it if you can equip it fast enough.
So we're going to finally properly use our chaining through here. So you'll notice and this is genuinely muscle memory, but just chaining through here just so that I can there was a bit of a troll crit at the end there, but that's fine. But chaining so that the boss gets stunned and can't attack us just means that like we can safely do the fight and not die. It means we don't have to level up, and we don't have to worry about getting slammed and dying. So it's a really cool strategy, and a really cool thing that like when it was first discovered in speedrunning stuff, like it probably was discovered casually first, but when used in speedrunning stuff, it's a really cool mechanic to have in this game. And it's really satisfying if you can get the timing right. Like it just feels good. There are a couple of the fights that we do use that strategy in that are a bit tricky, and at times when we do use that strategy, it's not the easiest to land depending on what the boss's animation is like and how long that animation is. So it means sometimes it's a bit hard to keep the chain up. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. I will admit I did do like a perfect practice of that boss fight that I'm referring to just before this, and I guarantee that I'm not going to get it this time around. Like I just got lucky. I'll talk about it later when we get to it. But you'll see what I mean. It's not fun. It's a bit of a hard one. Going the right way. Go to the cabin goal stop. Yep. So now we are going to go and sell all of our things. We're gonna go and sell everything because we don't want any of the junk that we just picked up. We're gonna get rid of it. It's basically junk that we can't use, so we're gonna sell it and buy some cool stuff. We love our barkeep. We love him. His voice is very cute in English, so I'm always sad when I do JP I don't get to hear the little English voice. Mishuna, what can I do for you? Alright. So now we gotta hit some cutscenes. We're gonna step on brother. Because why not? It's funny. So we have to hit a couple of cutscenes here, and then we're gonna go and buy our charm bangle. This is every runner of a Final Fantasy game that is not 10-2 is incredibly jealous of this because it's a no encounter accessory, basically. And it means that we don't get any random encounters for the rest of the game. That was it.
It's so fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I've got to say it. This is so unfair. I bust my ass with a laptop on the side, tracking RNG for like 8 hours through thick and thin, trying to get my no encounter armor to drop from a bloody ghost that spawns in a cave, and you get to walk up and buy it.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's great.
You get to buy it 20 minutes in.
Yep.
And I have to bust my bollocks for 8 hours to get. And some of the areas that I'm walking through don't even have encounters. Unfair. Unfair. As a Final Fantasy X runner,
run a superior game.
I'm being unfairly targeted. Or the other one is Final Fantasy VIII. I have to wait for like half the game to even be provided enough AP to get None on Diablos. Not fair. What's this pay to win?
It is
pay to win gamer here.
And as far as Final Fantasy runs go, this is one of the shorter games. So if you're ever looking for like an entry level kind of like Final Fantasy game to start running or have a go at, it's pretty accessible. Obviously you have the PC HD versions, you have the PS2 versions of course, which are a little bit harder, but in general it's pretty accessible in terms of like its difficulty, as well as its sort of I guess its length as well, because you know not everyone can run an 8-hour or a 9-hour game, whatever it may be. But this one, it's about 3.5, so it's not too bad at all. I found that this was the most like achievable for me when I was first getting started, because one, it was one of my favorite games, and two, it's just a lot of fun. So it meant that I wanted to play it more, and I could play it as many times as I wanted, and like, yeah, just keep wanting to get that PB. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I am going to try the skip here. There is a little skip that we can do. This is more common in Final Fantasy X, these kinds of skips, where you'll talk to one NPC, but then you'll trigger a cutscene at the same time, and you'll be able to eject yourself from said cutscene. This is more common in X, but I think this is maybe the only one in X2 that you can do, as far as I'm aware, as far as gamers are aware. But it's not very reliable. I'm not very good at it. I haven't done it in a while. I used to be good at it. No, I'm too far. Ah! You bitch. I didn't get it. Clearly I didn't get it. So you're supposed to talk to the little old person like right next to where I was standing, and then you trigger this guy at the same time, and then you walk off. It's really impressive when you can get it.
If you want the technical explanation, did you just lift your finger? I did as well. That was so funny.
I like put my finger up to my glasses.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did as well. So
actually,
basically, when there's text, when there's subtitles on the screen, the game raises a flag that says Yuna cannot move until this this subtitle is skipped. And so what you do is, as you're moving, there's like a few frames where you can still trigger dialogue that you are turning away from. So you enter the area where Isaru will say, "Hey, Yuna, yada yada," but at the same time you're talking to the other NPC. So that brings up the other person's subtitles as you enter the scene with Isaru. So now because you've got other subtitles open that are unrelated, when you close those subtitles, the game lowers that flag that says Yuna can no longer move. So she can now move again freely, despite it being in a cutscene. As Choco said, it's way more common in Final Fantasy X. And it's even though there's the only one in this whole game, it's not even really done that much, because there's, like in Final Fantasy X, there's very normalized setups where you can, you know, line up Tidus with this specific visual cue, You can use like the walls that you grind against and everything to put Tidus in a relatively fixed position every time and get the skip almost every time. Like 99 out of 100 times you'll get the skip. In that situation, there's no visual cue. There's no way to fix Yuna's position. It's really hard. So I don't think I'd go for it.
Yeah, it's one of those skips that where like, especially because it's Zanakin, it's quite dark, so a lot of the ground is like very murky. There's no clear like placeholders. There's only like one little stick that comes out from Isaru's feet that like sticks out from the background that I used to line up her nose with, but it doesn't work that well necessarily. And sometimes you're either too far forward or too far right or left, so it's pretty unreliable unless you've practiced it a lot. I did get to a point when I was running this game a lot where I'd practiced it and could get it pretty reliably, but it's still not 100%. And especially when you're in that situation of like, oh, I'm running to go fast. You know, sometimes the panic kicks in and you're like, oh, I can't do anything the way that I want to execute it. So it's difficult.
It also doesn't even save that much time. It's like 20
seconds.
Yeah,
it's probably not worth it, to be honest.
It's like 20 seconds. The ones in Final Fantasy X are like, Guado Salam skip is like 4 minutes.
Yeah. But it's still fun.
It is, of course it is. It just sort of adds to like the risk reward. It just tips it in favor of the risk over the reward.
Oh, oops. Oh, I wasted that steal. Oh, that's fine.
You have enough grenades, it's fine.
I love grenades though. I love grenades. Yeah, you can steal a couple more through here if you missed any through the previous section, but you can also get them dropped too. So sometimes I'll always look at the items here. I just got 2 potions, so unfortunately not any grenades. But you can also get a couple of grenades through here if you're lucky. They're pretty uncommon. In terms of drops, you'll usually get like a Phoenix Down or a potion is more common, but it does help to have a couple of extras in case you accidentally throw one at the wrong time, etc. It's not fun. So most of the enemies... you go.
Chokocchi has the privilege of honing and refining a skill and can actually fluently read Japanese and speak it.
Yes.
We were talking about this during Kingdom Hearts, where it sort of becomes kind of like a difficulty barrier, where like if you can't read or speak it or whatever, it can make certain things more difficult. You're actually able to read it. So in the items, for me, when I'm looking at it, I look at the first character. A potion looks like a little stick man, kind of.
Doing a star jump.
The Phoenix Down looks like it's got like a flat top and then a stick that comes out the right side and springs over to the left, going down. And a grenade is like a bunch of horizontal. It looks like a 6-pack. It's got like a bunch of horizontal lines.
A 6-pack.
Like it looks like abs. It's like a bunch of horizontal lines and then a vertical line in the middle. That's the first character grenade.
Yeah, fair.
You see, like the stick man. He's kind of like he's got his head. He's like looking over. He's like hunched over a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
Honestly, it's one of those things. Like, however you remember a character, like whatever you need to do to remember it, just do it. Whatever makes sense to you.
No wrong answers.
Like, yeah, no wrong answers. Because even if you don't speak the language right, but you want to use, like, for example, in HD, the traditional Chinese language version is the most, probably the quickest because it has the least amount of characters, like less than Japanese. If you use that one, yeah, it's quite tricky, especially because there are a lot of characters and they're very, very different a lot of the time. If you don't know it at all, it's tough. But if you speak it a little bit or you understand a couple of characters here and there or can at least spot something or have some way of remembering it, man, just use it. It helps. Because no one can know every language. It's crazy.
The big problem that I have with trying to use traditional Chinese subtitles on Final Fantasy X is because the characters are so intricate. The subtitles, like the text, the font, like isn't good enough. To really like display the subtle differences that like between two different characters that look similar.
Yeah.
Japanese is just so much easier for me.
And some of them are actually modified for like digital things that are too small. So they, like, even if you're a native speaker, they may look slightly different. So it can be a bit confusing, even if you can understand or have studied a little bit of the language, because they may look different to how you're used to seeing them as well.
Whoa.
We have a little cutscene.
Who the hell is this?
Who's this guy?
It's the start. I'm not gonna do it. We just start swearing.
What? Why?
She's like,
What the?
who is this?
Who the shit is this?
Just slinging
goodness.
profanity, trying to figure out who the voice is.
Well, if you haven't figured it out, it's Isaru. But we're not going to write that as our answer. We're just going to press circle. Because we don't have the funny response this time. We don't have the Hypella response. The password is Kimon? Oh god.
Damn it! God
I
damn
didn't
it!
know!
Ah!
Oh goodness.
I can't believe we've missed that Digimon reference.
How did we not know? Well,
これが今の仕事だよ。
do you think?
聖地を見物に来た人たちのお相手さ。
Is Wait, Kimon is not... Wait, is Kimon actually a Digimon?
I don't know,
こ
probably.
こで働けるの。
They put them little dudes on crucifixes in one of the movies. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Keemon.
I forgot about that. Oh,
If
there's
no one's
so many parts of that movie I've wiped from my memory.
If no one's seen that before, look up Gabumon Crucified. It's real.
It's not okay.
いろいろだな。
So we can see that, oh, it's Isaru that's taking people through the tours and scamming people of their money, making a treasure hunt out of a sacred ground. And so Yuna's kind of mad about it, but they realize that there's a treasure chest, a treasure sphere to be found down here, so we gotta go get it. We're gonna fight a little nasty boy down here. He's not too difficult because we use our same strategies before. Take those racing lines. What are you laughing about? I just remembered, I don't know why, the time that Yuna got stuck trying to jump.
Yeah, and
Is that what you remembered as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I googled Keemon, and
Yeah.
the only thing I can find is something called Keemon 8.
Oh,
It's a Nickelodeon show.
oh, I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
The interesting thing as well in terms of this battle mechanic, that's the chain stunning, is that when you stun an enemy as well, when you crit an enemy, the stun actually lasts a little bit longer because the animation will run for longer as well. So it means that you actually have a little bit more time while you're also doing a little bit more damage. That window that you can chain them is actually longer. Oh, I nearly dropped that then. Pain was a little bit further away than some of the others. That's another thing. If the enemy is quite far away, you still have to manage the distance that the girls have to run to get up to the enemy and actually attack. So it does mean that you do have to sometimes, even though you can get into a rhythm, you may have to change up your rhythm on the fly. If you notice that one girl is further away from the enemy than the others, it's quite tricky. And can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's overall pretty reliable. You do kind of get the hang of it the more that you practice it. So I usually do it by an audio cue rather than a visual cue, and just possibly muscle memory, like I'm not too sure. But you do have to keep taking into account the distance that they are, and between versions as well. So between the PlayStation version and the HD version, the bosses like the actual arenas look different. So sometimes it means that an enemy is further away from you in the HD version. A lot of the time they're closer up in this version, which is very annoying. But it's just, you get used to it between versions. This is a little section I like to call RNG Hell. It's a nice little, well, it's one of the sections of RNG Hell, but it's a short little section where basically you put in these ciphers into a door, and we're gonna guess the last one. So we get 3 of the ciphers that we need, and then the last one we just guess. Sometimes it can take us up to 10 tries, which is awesome. It's a bit of a pain.
Here's my hot take. I actually don't think it's that bad.
I just get frustrated. It's annoying.
10th try on the code is still quicker than going and getting the last digit.
Yes, it is.
And you can still get like crazy times even with 10th try code. Like the current world record has 10th try code. There's a way gnarlier one later.
Look at me.
Which was the part that really sucks. I think the part that sucks more than the cipher itself, personally, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is the fixed digits. I think they're worse because you'll get 3 of the 4 digits, as Chokocchi said, and when you start entering the code, it starts on 0000. So if the other digits that you pick up along the way that you know are like 5, 6, and 3, that is the part that's worse than the 10th try, I guess.
Because every time you have to swap to 5 and 3. Like if it just stuck, the ones that you'd put in, if they'd stuck there, it'd be awesome. You only have to change 1. But each time you have to put all 4 numbers in, and it's a pain in the bum.
It's doo-doo. It's doo-doo feces.
It's doo-doo feces.
Let's see how you go.
Yeah. But, again, I will say, great game. Hi, Lulu. Alright, so we're going to go and start that little quest now. We're going to have a little run around and try and find these ciphers. I wonder where they could be. I didn't realize that lady was there.
I hope the minimap just tells you.
I would hope so, yeah. That's crazy. Imagine if the minimap didn't tell you.
I think I'd freak out.
I think I would too.
I think I'd like write letters.
Write letters to Square Enix.
Yeah, it's that big purple
Fix your
spot.
game.
That's where you can see. Oh my god, we were just talking about it. We were just talking about it.
We jinxed ourselves. Disgusting.
I do like the climbing in this game. It does give you a sort of a new way to explore.
Oh, that's a text lock. I don't know how I did that. I must have hit it just as the audio was coming on.
So we got 5 and 2, and we'll find what our
5 and
last
2.
one is. Luckily, you don't actually have to like remember them because the game will just.
The game shows
them. The game's like, I understand that you're a child. I'm just gonna put the. I'm gonna put the numbers that you've collected thus far. I will just put them.
Oh, you mean you didn't write these down on a piece of paper while you were playing the game? Idiot.
That would have been actually so good if it just punished you for not doing that.
For not writing them down.
Oh,
but also that would be even more of a pain because then you wouldn't know which order to put the numbers in.
Yeah, but grow up. Sorry.
You're a child. Grow up.
What do we have? Oh, seven's
my God.
not the worst.
We may get a double.
Alright, here we go. 10%
numbers.
chance. I'm guessing 0.
I hope it's a 0. Disgusting.
Ah.
We're going 5 out the bat. Oh my god. Disgusting. Oh! Nope.
Oh, nice.
Press that one too fast. Oh my god. Oh, my goodness.
5372. Not bad.
Not too bad, but a weird one.
It was like a
Usually there's not so many numbers.
Fifth-ish try. Usually there's not so many.
Whoa.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I mean different numbers. I mean different numbers. I don't do maths, okay? Leave me alone.
Shout out to the first try code. You got it at a marathon run, I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
there was a marathon where you got
a
marathon run where you got first try code, and we both just started screaming.
Yeah. It does feel good when you get a first try code, even though there is absolutely no skill involved. It's literally just like, it's pure luck, but it feels awesome.
I have a theory that this game is exactly as RNG trackable and like deterministic as Final Fantasy, and it's just that because of ATB, you just actually can't.
Yeah.
So if you could
and I would imagine too, like, because it's such a short game as well, there's no point tracking, like the code is so early in the game, it would be really hard to track, I would imagine, what it's actually going to be.
If I was to try and like investigate minutes for this game, it would be for pedestals, not for code.
Yeah, pedestals is actually the worst.
Yeah.
Pedestals we'll talk about later when we get there, because
course.
I don't even want to think about it at this point. It's disgusting.
So that
in all of my practices, I shit you not, in every single practice, last try pedestal. Not a single one have I got one earlier.
Unreasonable.
It's disgusting. I'm due for one.
That boss there as well. That's the last one. How do I say? Sorry, there's one more boss in the speedrun that you could chain, and it's not that guy. It's one coming up shortly after this. Sorry, I kind of lied. 2 bosses. I forgot about the Pelican. So there's a boss in the next section that we're going to go to, and that boss we can chain, and there's one more after that. But because JPs are a based category, we don't chain him. We kill him in a far more interesting way. And Chokocchi will expertly show that off.
Hold on, what are we talking about? Where am I? What? Which boss are we talking about?
So, the Kilika boss you can chain. Ormi you can chain. But we've got the secret before... We get the secret before Ormi.
Yes, we do. We get the secret before Ormi that I've kind of half spoiled.
You've spilled the beans a little bit. You've spilled the beans a little bit, but that's okay. I picked some of the beans back up and put them back in the tin. They'll never know.
Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. Simon's looking out for me. Alright, so we are going to head off to Kilika now. This is the tricky boss that I was talking about before. I do have a safety save for this because this boss can just absolutely decimate you. And that's just sometimes how it goes. Sometimes you'll just get double punched 10 times in a row.
Gravity blasted, double punched, suplexed, RKO'd.
Yep. And it's awesome. Favorite battle in the game. I have just done it a couple of times really well, but I've also gotten, like, it's just a regular attack on the first try, on the first turn. So that's the best case scenario.
I think that's the only fight where I actually used turbo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't approve of that. I don't sanction this message. Do not turbo this battle.
So it lets you put in the attacks more accurately to when you want them to be timed.
Does it? I don't know.
Well, because think about it, if you're mashing it manually, right, they could be like between press 1 to select the attack and press 2 to commit to that target. There could be a couple frames of variance, whereas with turbo, there's not.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. So wait, you just put turbo on the entire time?
Once it's in the chain, I'll put turbo on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That was what was confusing me. That's fair. I guess if you... I'm not that good at switching between turbo and non-turbo.
I wouldn't recommend it. I actually wouldn't recommend
especially
it.
in a battle. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. That's not how I play. I wouldn't do it. I find that it's easier for me to just do it manually. Even though sometimes it does mean that, like, it's sometimes difficult. Like, I find it easier to just have the control. I'm a control freak, I guess. So I think this one we have to wait for this guy to punch the air. So we're gonna just punch. And then we can skip that cutscene. And now we can have a little walk around and try and find a sneaky way through. Then we have to input a little code up through this way, but thankfully we already know the code, and this code doesn't change, which is awesome. We're gonna sneak through this little way here. Basically grab the code by not listening to a cutscene, but we still get it anyway. And then we can basically get through a whole bunch of, like what would normally be forced encounters if you get them wrong. So we basically say, no, I don't want to listen to the cutscene, and then it knows that we know what the code is. Because if you try to go through anyway, it actually blocks you. It's kind of crazy. Wait, why am I doing that? We don't need to save here. I already have a save. I'm used to my practice. So that means we got it right, and we can pass on through. Thankfully, it's just 2 numbers. There's not that many numbers. Alright, the last one is, well, the last 2 are both 4. We're gonna get shot at.
Whoa!
Awesome. Whoa! And then we got a little hard battle that I'll probably need to lock in for.
Get a white monster, a ton of it. In English, you actually need to pass those. You have to perfectly do that password section because you need a garment grid as a reward. In JP, you don't, but it's kind of interesting. Okay, let's go, Choco.
Alright, I'm locked in.
That was crazy.
That was really good. We did drop the chain in there like once or twice, but it
Yeah, you nearly had a 30 burger.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, like I did in my practice. That was the annoying part. I got a 30 burger in my practice. It was
There
great.
was like 8 billion crits in there.
Yeah, there were tons of crits as well, so that was really good.
So
that's basically how you want that fight to go. Exactly.
yeah, one thing that I think Mr. Dackley caught there, that the people at home may not have. So that boss has 3 moves it can do. Gravity Blast, which will set a girl to half HP, half their current HP, and also make their next turn take twice as long to occur.
Blast Punch.
And then, is it Blast Punch? Sorry, I thought it was Gravity
It's
Punch.
Blast Punch.
Blast
yeah.
Punch.
No,
Yeah,
Blast
and
Punch.
then Double Fist or whatever it's called. That's just like almost certainly going to kill one of the characters.
Yeah.
Its 3rd attack, which is just its normal standard attack.
No, it's Haymaker, isn't it?
Haymaker,
Wait, hold on.
that's
There's
the one. It's Haymaker.
Yeah.
Haymaker, Blast Punch, and then its regular attack.
And then, yeah.
Its regular attack can be interrupted. So even though Chokocchi dropped the chain, it is still committed to the other attack. Had it done Blast Punch or Double Fist, there's no opportunity to interrupt it. So yeah, perfect RNG on the opening. Excellent chains and lots of crits.
We had
just
tons of crits.
Overall, super good fight.
Yeah.
And now
it's pretty much we didn't get to show the disaster, which is, you know, such a shame. Definitely wanted you guys to see a disaster, but thankfully we did it pretty well. Hold on, we want to go to Shinra. Oh no, this one isn't this. My bad. My bad. This one is one that we have to watch. This is what Sayo means about how you need to be like prepared, and you need to remember all the different cutscenes that you can and can't skip. It does get quite confusing, especially because you'll often return back to the airship, and the airship obviously doesn't really change that much. It looks the same quite a lot. It just might be like the positioning of the characters that's different. So usually using them is a good cue to remember which ones you can and can't skip, or even just remembering story beats to work out where you can and can't skip things. But sometimes, even as much as I've played this game, sometimes even I'll be like, I can't skip this one, can I? But then I can, or I can't, either way. Thankfully, I have my notes up so that I can double check that as well. Sometimes I can't read quite as fast as my fingers can go, so, you know, sometimes we make those little mistakes. But yeah, we are going to get a very nice little item that we're going to use for the rest of the game very soon.
It's time, chokocchi.
It's time!
It's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Alright. Okay, I'm ready. I've done this pretty well recently,
to play the game.
I'm hoping that I can pull this off very cleanly.
Time to play the game.
Oh, hello, you. And movement. We haven't even talked about movement yet.
We have not talked about movement.
Oh god, I don't want to talk about movement right now. I'll talk about it right after this because
Okay.
movement.
You lock in, I'll explain. So, we have to push these musicians into the elevator. Normally you just push the 3 dudes on the right, but we've got to also push Toby, who's going to do everything that he can in his power to break away and run backwards towards the door. Chokocchi barely lets him go.
You little shit, come here. Come here, you little ass. Oh my god, wait. Hold on, I'm choking. I'm just going to push him in really carefully.
There we go. And now we're going to fit the other 3 in as well.
Yeah.
Nice little
That
double
was
push.
really...
It's a nasty
Yeah,
little double.
a bit poo-poo though.
Oh, one of those
Oh, I
didn't.
can push him in further, that's nice.
One of those didn't.
I know, he's not going in. I might have to move him later.
But is there going to be room for the bird?
There will be room for the bird. There will be room.
He's a bloody bastard.
He is a bastard. Oh god.
It's actually so bad.
This is the worst that I've done it recently. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's
normally you have to move the magicians into the musicians
fine.
into the elevator because I believe they have like some type of muscular atrophy and can't walk themselves in. Tobly by adding Tobly into the elevator, specifically in the Japanese version, he'll give you an item called catnip, which is an accessory that I will let Chokocchi explain.
Catnip basically will max out our damage when we are in critical health to max, so 9,999, which means that on every single hit we'll do 9,999, even if that hit is trigger happy, which is like a thing that you, basically an ability that Yuna has where she basically just like lets her trigger just like go that fast as you can basically mash R1. So it means you can get in as many hits as you want. We use that on some later bosses. This becomes our main strategy for the rest of the game. So lock in. It gets this is as good as it gets.
If you like Final Fantasy VIII, boy, do I have a run for you. Because we're going to be setting our party member to yellow health and then shooting the toss out of everything in front of us.
Yep, pretty much.
It's just Final Fantasy VIII 2.
Oh. Yep, pretty much. Final Fantasy VIII 2. And Yuna is Irvine. Let's go.
I think
but
there is something. Someone said, I think it was Kaguya Nikki said that what they found is that it actually has to do at least 1 damage for it to set itself to 9999.
yeah.
So if you have a move that
So it can't
does
be
0
something
damage,
that's 0.
Yeah, 0 damage will actually stay at 0 damage. I think it also maxes out your healing too. So
Yes, it
if you
does,
toss a
yeah.
potion, it'll actually full heal, which
Yes.
is really good.
Yeah, but also a pain because if you're trying to heal them up a little bit, you'll actually heal for max. If you're using that
Yeah.
person who has the item and is in crit health, will actually heal themselves for max. So make sure that if you are just giving them a little boost, that you give it with someone else and not Yuna.
that's-
But yeah,
Oh,
it's no, you go on.
I was just gonna say that's also
Go
the
on,
big
then.
reason why you were stealing a lot of grenades, because
Yes.
now you've got a character that's in crit health that will deal max damage. They throw a grenade, and you've just wiped everything in the energy section.
So because we don't have break damage limit either, like you can later combine this with break damage limit items, where you can hit up to 99,999. But until you do that, it's just 9,999. So yeah, it's basically it's only like the max that you can currently do without break damage limit, which is an item that I think is a little bit trickier to get. You have to get it from something specific. But there's break damage, break HP, and break MP limit at some point on certain abilities and items. It just takes a long time to get them, so that they're not worth chasing.
I am fairly confident that it unfortunately doesn't work with break damage limit.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I hate to be that guy, but
I don't know.
Because I think it sets it to it sets the value to 9,999 rather than just letting it go to max.
Fuck you, totally. Shit.
But also it appears to be untested. I can't see anything in forums.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah, I'm
accessory
not too sure.
description itself, as per like the wiki. To be fair, the wiki's wrong. So
yeah, fair.
like the wiki says that the reward for winning Blitzball is a Phoenix Down. That's in JP.
That's wrong,
the reward
right?
for winning Blitzball is a Phoenix Down. It's half true. You can get like 4 different things with different rarities. And Phoenix Down I don't even think is like the rarest the one.
Alright, now we're really gonna carefully select Babel here.
Beberu.
Because we don't want to select Mushroom Rock Road, that's game over.
Beberu.
Beberu. Beberu.
Yeah, so
So this is the scene that Sayo mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Little callback. Go on, Sayo, take it
So
away.
you can't skip. You can't skip now. You gotta wait until kaboom. There you go. Now you can
Kaboom.
skip.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Shout out to Tom Scott.
Shout out to Tom Scott, who's a big fan of Cars.
He loves cars.
He does love Cars.
Disney Pixar's Cars.
Ka-chow. So we got a couple of cutscenes to skip, and then we get this little unskippable one where we find out that, oh no, they've jumped on our airship and stolen our stuff. Pains in the butt. So this is where we get to see a little bit more of LeBlanc. She will stick around for pretty much the entirety of the game. So sucks to be you if you don't like her. She's awesome.
Hubba. Sorry.
Shout out to Corey.
Sorry, I had to. Shout out to Corey.
You gotta do it.
Corey loves LeBlanc.
He does.
He's a huge fan of LeBlanc and the various.
I think does he still have the LeBlanc emote?
I believe he does still have an emote.
That's so funny.
It's an emote of me massaging LeBlanc, if I remember correctly.
It's very funny. Because, spoiler alert, we might have to do that at some point.
It's honestly, in JP, the massage minigame is like really tame compared to English.
So tame.
Yeah, spoiler alert, there's a minigame we have to massage LeBlanc. And in English,
Yep.
she's like, oh yeah! Like,
Yeah,
going
and it's like,
crazy.
this is a forced minigame. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not an option. So, like, I remember when I was playing this when I was younger, being terrified that someone was going to walk in the room when I was playing this game.
But then in JP, she's just like, ooh.
Yeah, she's like, relax.
Yeah, and then in English, she's like, oh yeah, yeah. It's like, whoa. Oh my god. Oh my god, are we allowed to?
Thank you.
Are we allowed to stream this?
It is quite confronting, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and Google it in front of your parents in English.
Yeah, make sure your mom's in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, in JP it wouldn't be a big deal if you don't get it first try, because you only need exactly one garment grid in this version. So anything where the reward is a garment grid is like completely useless.
Yeah.
The only sorry, not completely useless.
Oh, well, this one was an accessory, right? It's golden hairpin, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you even need that though.
No, you don't.
Regardless.
Because we don't even pick it up.
But yeah,
It's just faster that we don't have
it's
to do
just
it
yeah,
twice.
the utility in clearing these mini games first try is literally just time in JP. So there's and firing as well.
Catnip.
So yeah, Yuna's muscle belt has
we
now been
want
changed up
ATB
for.
weight.
Oh, I'll wait till you're done.
No, it's alright.
Um,
Yeah, so we basically want to turn our config to ATB weight there as well. Just to get ready for some strategies to change.
So if you're familiar with ATB weighting, then this is not for you. For the people that aren't familiar with ATB weighting, so the way that these games go in terms of the battles is when the bar fills up, that character gets their turn.
Oh.
However, the bars still fill up during animations, so even if you outspeed another character, they can get a turn before you because their bar is filling up while yours, your animation and from the other turn is still going. So ATB weight means that when selecting an item or a magic spell or something along those lines, all the ATBs will freeze. So what you can do is freeze the ATB during the animation to sort of put you and the enemy on an even playing field when it comes to the bars filling up. You'll both start from 0 when the bars do start to fill up. So if you outspeed a boss, you can actually sneak in turns that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. It's not so much ATB weighting in this game, but we want to freeze the ATB to let you be able to cast those spells.
I hate this battle.
So normally in English, we would change it. But we're going to actually whack Yuna down to crit health. Beautiful. She's a little
Not
bit
good
low.
though.
Kaboom!
20 health is really low.
Yeah, that's super low. But
20 health is really
bang.
low.
So that's what every fight is going to look like for the rest of the game.
Yeah. We're going to hope that Yuna gets hit by the enemies or that we can hit her into a crit really, really quickly. And then we're basically just going to go in on any of the enemies that are there. Yeah. So it can be tricky and you can sometimes overshot and kill Yuna. Yuna might die here, to be honest, if they get in really quickly. But she's in pretty quick.
Oh my god, that's
really, really
that
lucky.
Was really, really good.
Yeah. So that's why I like grenades.
Yeah, grenades cast much quicker. We didn't really spot it on the stream side, but Chokocchi equipped Fire Ring onto Yuna, which lets that character that's wielding it cast fire, even if they're not like a black mage class or anything like that. So that's used in lieu of grenades when you don't have them available, but it takes like 3 times as long to cast.
Yeah.
And yes, the ATB weight in this game, what it will do...
I think it's about double, actually.
About double? It's
I think
probably
it's
close
double
to
as
double.
long as
I'd
a
say you're
grenade,
right,
yeah.
The part that's really good for ATB weighting is if a bar is filled up and a character is going to take their turn, if you ATB weight, or you hold ATB in like the item or magic menu or something, it will allow any turns that are ready and queued up to play out, including your own and the enemies. So because Yuna's turn was queued up, but if Chokocchi kept letting ATBs flow, one of the enemies may have gotten a thunder when it wasn't quite ready to cast at the time, and it may have targeted Yuna or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so basically we want to avoid Yuna getting hit, especially when she's as low as she is. That was unfortunately way lower than I'd wanted her to be. We generally want her to be like the higher end of the yellow health. Yeah, but sometimes you'll just overshot or get hit unexpectedly, and there's nothing really that you can do about it unless you let her die and then you revive her. But again, that's time that's lost.
We got Crunchyroll Expo Melbourne Simulator here as well.
Yes, this is Crunchyroll Expo.
That's inaccurate because the line is moving.
Well, the line's not moving currently.
Not currently, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
And there's not enough people dying of heat stroke.
Let me in. SMH, finally. After 12 hours, I'm in.
Oh, what, the con's closing? What?
What?
It's not fair.
Oh no, what do you mean things are sold out? What?
But I waited in line for 15 hours. I got bit by 8 bronies on the way in. What are you... This isn't fair.
So yeah, basically we're now starting to like go around and collect a whole bunch of the LeBlanc Syndicate uniforms. So we have to go and beat up the LeBlanc Syndicate a whole bunch of times because we're going to go and infiltrate their lair, basically. And I don't know why none of the LeBlanc Syndicate staff have reported this, like this theft. Because surely they'd be like, why are they stealing our clothes? Like, what the hell? And realize that maybe they were preparing for a infiltration, but nah, I think they're too stupid for that.
There was also straight up 2 goons in the other fight, and you only took 1 costume.
Yeah.
Which is just obscene. It's just obscene.
Mistakes were made. Maybe YRP can't count. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, we do end up using that same strat for a little bit. It does change depending on the formation of the battle. So whether we are up against a single party member or if we're up against multiple. A lot of these ones we're going to be up against multiple. So, oh, it's true. Maybe it didn't fit any of them. That actually makes a good point.
They all have like the exact same frame, kind of.
That's true. Kind of. Close enough. I don't know how, too. That's kind of crazy. That's another text log. What was I saying? I had something. I was talking about something. Oh, yeah. If it's just one party member that we're, like, fighting against, we can just go in with a regular attack. If it's multiple, then we usually want to use either our fire or our grenades that we've got. I am going to leave 2 grenades just as a backup. So if I do like to use a grenade on this battle, but that's fine. If I have to use fire, we'll show you how that works. Because I don't think I have enough grenades the entire game. I love waza waza. Such a good word. It's like going out of your way to do something. That's what it means. Okay, this battle sometimes goes kind of poo-poo, so we gotta keep an eye. Because there are 3 enemies that we're up against. Imagine if we just took Logos' clothes instead. Let's see how many... We have 6. Okay, we have a lot of grenades. We're okay. Oh. Okay, we're good. That's fine. Very nice.
A little bit unfortunate for Riku because she didn't get the AP that she needed to also learn First Strike.
But that's okay. I would rather prioritize getting through that battle than getting Riku up, unfortunately.
Yeah. Really clean fight though.
Yeah, that was it generally goes pretty well. Sometimes though, unfortunately, someone does get focused. And when it's Yuna, it's not too bad because then you can just revive her and then send in a grenade or something like that. If it is one of the other party members, it does mean that they lose AP, which we do need to be careful of because it's more important for Riku and Pain to get it than for Yuna because Yuna's going to dish this dress sphere in a little bit. And she doesn't always need the first hit because she's going to be the one that's dealing the damage. So it's okay for her to take some time to get hit and let the other 2 hit her. But it's minor adjustments and things like that, minor optimizations. So it's not too bad. We have our last syndicate fight for the uniforms before we actually go and infiltrate. This is another little bit of a finicky battle. We're up against 3 enemies again. Thankfully, it's 2 goons and logos, so it's not too bad. But in terms of like its difficulty, the goons do move quite fast. So sometimes this one can get away from you a little bit, and Logos does throw some silence and darkness grenades. So if you're using magic or if you're using attacks, it's actually a bit of a pain in the butt. Adds an extra level of difficulty to this battle. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier is movement, and we might actually talk about that in the sleeper section. Now that I think about it, because that's where we're going to be doing a lot of movement. Might leave that for later. Here, let's focus on this current battle. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to try and get Yuna down into her crit health. and then we are going to throw a grenade, most likely. Damn, I did steal a lot of grenades, didn't I? So that section we have to wait for Logos to talk there before we can actually skip that cutscene as well. It's just another little weird one that happens. Alright, let's do it. I might actually use fire here just to be safe and just so that we can show off that. It's okay, Yuna will survive this. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's
That's like the worst thing that could happen. That's fine, we'll just throw a grenade. Weesh. Yuna, don't die. Yep, Yuna's dead. Okay. That's really unlucky. This is what I mean in the sense that like this one can get away from you. Sometimes you'll make a decision and I am just gonna throw a potion on Pain just to be safe. And a grenade will be faster here, so we're gonna do that. Oh boy! We might be able to get this in beforehand. Just to be safe.
Oh
That's so unlucky. That's really unlucky.
This is alright.
That's fine. This is fine. But they're just wailing on us right now. Please. Oh, we might actually die here. Is this a potion? We're dead. Oh, we're not dead. Come on, Riku. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
That's fine. Maybe quicker to just go to the load screen.
It's gonna be quick.
I will just load my save. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
That's fine though. That's fine. That means my nice little run is invalid. Which one are we up to? I need to put my card in the slot. Okay. Now we are going to... Do you want me to redo that fight?
Yeah, redo that fight.
Alright. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Sometimes that does happen.
When the whole strategy involves putting someone at like low health, it just kind of opens you up to them just dying.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight, the correct play may have been to just send in an attack on Logos with critical.
You can, yeah. So you can. Another thing that you can do is take out one of the goons first. But it is technically faster to just take them all out with a fire or a grenade.
Yeah.
But you can also just take one goon out and it makes things a little bit easier.
I think that in the moment you made the correct decisions, but it's not how the world works.
Yeah, and it did look like that it was gonna be fine in terms of like, Yuna did seem like she was gonna get that turn in first, but then just didn't. And that, it's just the way that the game works. It likes to mess with us, so we just deal with what we got. Alright, let's do it again. This should get Yuna into crit. Or not.
Oh,
there
no,
we go.
it's okay, the goon helps. There we go. That's
how we want that battle to go.
That's what that should have looked like the first time.
Yeah. So we could have thrown a grenade there, because I'm pretty sure this save file has tons of grenades. But I just wanted to show the fire one as well, because that's one of the usual strats that's done. It's not necessarily always the quickest, but it's, as you can see, sometimes a little bit riskier because you have a bigger window for the others to get their attacks in. So if they do happen to get in before Yuna gets fire in, then it can be a little bit catastrophic, as we saw. That just happens. But now we all have all 3 uniforms, so we're ready to go. This is why we have practice and safety saves in a marathon situation. Yeah, especially for a run like this, because this run does rely on really volatile strats. So because they are very high octane, obviously if I was playing for fun and just for a PB, I would be like, all right, well, reset, start again. But in this case, we're loading a safety save because, you know, it just makes things a little bit easier in that regard. All right. So we're now actually going to go into the chateau. We're going in. It does not work with break damage limit. Thank you, Wotan, for coming through there with the facts. Oh, wait. Where's Corey? We need Corey in here, stat.
Get Corey.
Get Corey in here.
Get him on the horn.
Get him on speed dial. It's time, Corey. It's been so long.
Where the hell is Corey?
Where the hell is Corey? Slacking, honestly. It's alright, he still has maybe like a minute before we get there. Corey, it's time!
Where the hell is this guy?
I don't know.
Where are we? I didn't even mean to.
I know, but you did the voice.
Where the fuck are we?
I don't know. That's an ancient meme.
Don't say what it's from.
I'm not.
Only
care.
real ones will know what that's from.
Yep. If you know, you know. That's ancient Sayo and Choco memes.
Alright, here we go. Massage minigame.
Massage minigame. And Corey's not a Corey in sight. SMH.
He's quiet.
Corey, if you're here, if you're with us in the room right now, please say humana humana.
Corey, if you're here with us, please
let
give
your
us a sign.
awareness be known. So yeah, we are gonna give LeBlanc a little massage. If she's not happy with it, that was not where I was going. It's alright. It was there anyway. I gambled and won.
Oh, this is... So yeah, chokocchi's got a little flow chart. So based on the position of the first
Booty.
one, you know where to go next to eventually find a pink heart. You want to get...
Yeah.
Like,
Eee.
do we have enough? Oh, there we go. Now we definitely do, yeah. Wait.
Now we can just break her back. There we go. It doesn't matter. Wow, she really enjoyed me just getting in there with the elbow.
Oh my god, my C5 is shattered. Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
My C3 is in 14 pieces after that massage. I've never felt better.
By the sound of that crack, it was pretty bad.
My legs have never felt better. In fact, my legs feel like they've never felt.
My quality of life is improved tenfold. But yeah, now that LeBlanc is asleep, we're just gonna sneak on in.
I think she's asleep. I think she's in a shock-induced
It's a permanent sleep.
I do find it really strange that they've just kind of like occupied Seymour's old palace. Like he was the biggest, evilest man in all of Spira, and let's just live where he used to live and run evil schemes out of there as well.
Yeah.
People
like, why
will
not?
love us.
It's got tons of rooms. There's little meeting rooms and, you know, banquet halls and weird bedrooms with statues and things in them.
There's actually only one banquet hall.
Shut up.
This next string of fights, back to the actual game. This next string of fights is particularly difficult from JP. Just because we're strong enough to kill the enemies by virtue of catnip. However,
oh, no. I'm gonna kill. Oh, I'm gonna.
But like we're not tough enough to like really survive yet.
No. No, we're not. We're really not. The fact that I lived through that was actually insanity. I should not have lived there. I apologize, Mr. Sayo. You were mid discussion.
Did you just call me mid?
Mid? Yeah.
I can't believe it. I can't believe you would say something like this about me.
I know, I'm evil, right? I know. So this cutscene, we want to skip as fast as flippin' possible.
Nice
Because-
dodge on the swear word.
Yeah, as fast as flippin' possible. Because if we watch that cutscene, we actually have to watch a really long, it's like a minute long sphere.
If you don't skip it
And
immediately,
we don't want to do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's a very short window.
It is, it's like, you get like 20 seconds to skip for like a whole minute. Alright, this is gonna go down really badly. Unit's probably gonna die. Yep.
Pop!
Just point blank shoots her! Alright, we are gonna use the grenade though. And that, thankfully, she died there because that will actually make the next fight safer. Which we want this fight, we don't care about. The next fight we want to be really safe because it can be a real pain in the butt.
Oh, can it be a Riku?
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
We've got some appreciation for your Tentu shrine.
Oh. Yeah.
Candles.
Do you know how many games are there? You actually can't see how many games are there. There's 5. No, 6. I can count 6. There are 6 different versions of Tentu.
One of which is the Korean version.
Yes.
Which we discovered was, to put politely, the worst of both worlds.
It is, yeah, somehow.
So the English version of Tentu doesn't text lock. On PS2 at least. I was wondering what you were doing, like running into the
I thought that I was holding X and I was holding circle instead.
So yeah, English doesn't text lock but doesn't have catnip. JP text locks and has catnip. Korean version text locks and doesn't have catnip.
Yeah.
So it's just like the objectively worst way to speedrun the game.
As I said, it's most politely the worst of both worlds. I was very interested in it. I happened to go to South Korea a couple of years ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go explore some like game stores, retro game stores and stuff. So I went to a little arcade. Which, oh my god, hello, which was really awesome. When we finally talk about movement, that will be about that in a moment. Yeah, and just happened to find it there, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. It actually runs really smoothly. It's like kind of fast. Menus feel nice. And then we realized that it doesn't have catnip, and we were like, no!
Yeah. And because it is in NTSC-J format, it would still fall in the JP leaderboards.
Oh, I just threw a potion. I'm so mad. I threw it on Yuna as well. This is not good. Oh god.
It's like one attack away.
I didn't get in fast enough. This is not good. Oh, this is really not good. Oh, this is really not good. This is really not good. We're gonna die here again. Yep. Alright, I might just No, this is an AoE.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is gonna kill pretty much everyone, and then we're gonna get stuck in a loop. So I'm just gonna reload this. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. A little misinput there. Unfortunately, threw a potion instead of a grenade because they are very close by. You can actually just like rejig your inventory so that your grenades are at the top. Yeah. Usually, I'm not quite this rusty, I'll admit.
Can someone... I've never heard that said the way that you did, but when you said Little Miss Input, I pictured like the Little Miss Sunshine and like Mr. Grumpy. Can someone out there who's more talented than me please create fan art of Little Miss Input? you have full freedom to create the character. I just want it done in the same style.
Little Miss Input,
Little Miss Input. It's just like, if anyone remembers Big Miss Steak, and it's like a steak all dolled up in like burlesque gear with like thick legs and high heels and shit.
I thought I had a one for this, but
that's okay.
I don't. We'll be a little bit behind, but that's all right.
Little Miss Input, please, someone with some like artistic talent at like
Please.
Copying other people's styles.
Oh my goodness.
A PS2 pad in thigh highs and tits. Tom Scott might have the winning concept. He just doesn't have. He's got big stupid caveman hands.
Somebody
so
make it happen.
He can't draw it, but someone else can.
All right, so the reason I actually have the save here instead of in the other section is so that we can get into position in terms of our low health Yuna. And then... Oh, that's not good. We'll just bring that back. He's going to hit Riku, which is good. We want him to hit Riku. Yuna will be able to go here, which is fine. And getting Pain up actually, yeah, she doesn't need the AP, but she'll at least get the EXP, which is good. We don't want her to lose too much EXP either, because we want her to do decent hits. So, that's fine. We're chilling. We're okay. These fights are really tricky, and unfortunately, it's very hard to save through these sections because you need to keep Yuna in crit. Our priority is keeping Yuna in crit health, and unfortunately, saving actually ruins that. So we are just going to go through this little puzzle again. So I'll just lock in so I can get that done quickly, because movement is really another level of difficulty in this game.
For those unaware, if you touch the save point, it fully restores all your health.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
when you want to keep, when you're trying to, as Chokocchi said, when you're trying to keep a character at low health, you're not allowed to save.
Corey's late to the party.
And unfortunately, today's just been one of those days where the game is not cooperated.
Yeah, look, sometimes 10-2 is like that. Sometimes you'll have really good days where you get a lot of great RNG and a lot of like your pedestals will be perfect, your code will be nice and easy. You know, you'll get really good patterns on the big Machina boss that we fought earlier. I didn't realize you could just drop there. That's nice. It's nice to know. Yeah, and sometimes things will just go right, and then other times everything falls apart.
It's a hard game.
It is. It's just the nature of it too. Like, you can do all the right things and still sometimes, unfortunately, have a little misinput. Or Corey, you need to make little misinput happen, okay? I feel like Corey would be able to do it. He's got the artistic like skills from what he's made in the past. We've seen it. So I reckon he could do it if anyone. Little Miss Input. You're making a new Little Mister character.
Walk in.
Oh. Little Miss Input. Watch this. Oh no.
Idiot.
I was locked. I was loaded. That's so unlucky. Please don't die.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
That's how we want the battle to go. As bad as that was.
It went a little bit better than the last.
A little bit awry. But look, we got through it. That's the main thing.
That's exactly it.
That's exactly how we want it to go. At the very least, somewhat like that. So, Sayo, depending on how we are going for time, we do have the potential to skip certain sections. So if you need me to skip...
No, we won't skip anything. We might just end time at Shuyin rather than watch the whole...
No, that's perfect. That's fine. We're definitely not watching the credits. This run is invalid.
Yeah.
This run is very, very invalid.
No, don't skip anything. Play the whole game. Show the people the whole game.
Cool. People need to see.
You just focus on your thing and doing it well.
Hell yeah.
You got this.
So those are some of the, like, surprisingly, those middle fights are actually some of the trickiest fights in the game. We do deal with some quote-unquote difficult fights later on, but those are in terms of like queuing up, getting unit into critical health, and then initiating all the other things that you need to initiate, like taking out some enemies or whatever it may be. Those are actually some of the trickiest in the game. So now that we're through that section, it's relatively, touch wood, relatively smooth for the most part, because a lot of the time you'll get unit into crit in one battle, and then all of the rest of your abilities are so much faster than either fire or throwing a grenade, and that just means that it's safer.
And then chapter 5 comes in and says, "Get in."
Get in.
And it ends your run.
Yeah.
Not this run, but
Not this one, no. But it can end runs, and it has. But it's more common in the English version, just because, or the NA version, just because those strats are very, very difficult, and that run is also incredibly volatile. Alright. So, now we're gonna go to Bavel. We've got some nice fights coming up. Some ones that aren't too mean to us, thankfully. Most of the time, anyway. We're gonna go straight there. And we have a couple little cutscenes to go through. So, nothing too crazy. Do you need to do any dono reads, Mr. Sire?
Oh, good.
偉いやつ踏んづかまえる。これだね。で、
Point all sin.
おとなしい優男だ。護衛なしでは何もできまい。
それが
The bloody
結
thing's
構強いん
broken
だよな。
again.
Oh, no.
We had a 25 burger come in that says you're doing an amazing job.
Oh, that's nice.
頼めたんです。
Trying my best.
大召喚師様ですか。これは失礼しました。
I wish I
How
could
nice.
do what you're about to do. I wish I could do it in Final Fantasy X.
What's that?
This boat
Oh,
ride.
get in the boat. Get in the boat and get in.
I think it would actually save like a minute and a half.
Yeah. Being able to go up and back would be lit.
You don't have to go back. You don't have to go up.
No, but like if you could... I don't even think you can in this one. I think you can just go up.
But
Unless there's another guy on the other side. I don't know. Do you think it's a one or two-way street?
it would be nice for situations where you don't need to kill any YKT-63s or YAT-99s
Yes.
on the high bridge to get no encounter armor. You can just because I actually have to get mine via skill. You just buy your no encounter
pay to
armor
win.
at the start of the game. I have to actually skillfully manipulate the RNG in my game to acquire no encounter armor.
Sai, did you hear that? Sai's talking smack. He's saying that this game requires no skill. I have proven
Yeah.
that it does. Clearly. If it was a breeze, this would be fine. Nah, it's so pay to win though. Like, genuinely not having to deal with encounters the entire way through the game, I think this game would be way more difficult and way more frustrating if you had to deal with encounters the entire way
This
through.
run would get significantly worse if there was encounters.
Yeah. It would be so tough. So there's a lot of puzzles in this game as well, and a lot of them, thankfully, we don't have to do in JP. We just run right on past. So this is one where we have to like kind of set the we set the lifts to go downwards so that we can actually go underground the Vel, which we didn't know that existed. We totally did because we experienced it in Final Fantasy X. But this is their first time going back underground the Vel since. And this is you'd recognize this as the Cloister of Trials. I'm sure Final Fantasy X runners are shuddering as we descend down into this area. But then we're going to do our same strat again. We're going to queue up our characters to whack us.
Isn't that bloke
I'm actually
from
gonna queue.
Crusade?
Nice. Oh.
He said they're gonna whack us.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Waka. So unfortunately, I didn't actually get Unit into crit fast enough there, so it meant that she did fire at normal damage, which isn't very much. So I did just pop that off again, just because I do have 2 grenades, and I want to hold on to those 2 grenades at the end of the game. So we are going to use fire through here, because it's pretty quick, for the most part. We can use grenades, but we want to save those because they are precious resources that we need for later. But thankfully these guys are pretty slow, and the next guys, they're fast, but they don't do a whole lot of damage, so it's pretty safe to use fire, even if we're going to get attacked. And on most screens, I will be like doing pre-holding of my directions and things like that, but there'll be some areas where you do see me at the start standing still. This is intentional because of the way that movement works in Final Fantasy X and X-2. The movement is a bit cuckoo, I will say. And sometimes you'll press a direction and it will just not go the direction that you're telling it to go in, which is incredibly frustrating. And even if you're holding a direction, sometimes they'll just like veer a little bit. Oh, drives me nuts.
It's garbage.
It's garbage.
Pure garbage. I've played this game for like 8,000 hours and I'll tell you it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's
The
inexcusable.
movement is just awful. And sometimes if you're pre-holding a direction, you'll actually go in the opposite direction to the direction that you're, or just a completely different direction to the one that you're holding. So sometimes you have to actually wait until you're fully loaded into the screen before you start moving, because otherwise you're just going to walk in a random direction, basically. And that is the worst. So it does look like I'm low on health here, but I'm actually okay. I am at about 100. I've got 96 health, which sounds like it's low, but it's actually not too bad. So we're going to leave that for the next couple of battles. We do have 2 grenades, which means we don't need to steal from the enemies that we're coming up to in just a moment. Because usually you would, if you don't have enough grenades, you would steal from these 2 guys up here. And we're about to do some skate simulator. Here you go. Even flow.
You're an idiot.
I know. Okay.
No,
I just did it like that because,
right.
well, I have 2 grenades, so we're fine. And we can also get 2 here, so we don't need to steal there. So there is a possibility of getting grenades there. You can get up to 2. It's not guaranteed though, so you don't want to rely on it. Usually you would steal there, but I know that I have grenades still. I know that I have 2 left, so I now have 4. So if anything happens, I'm all set to go, pretty much. Thankfully we see this guy again, but he's chump change now. We don't have to worry about him at all.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying to...
It's really satisfying just to punch him and he just goes down. So we have 2 of these little battles to do, and then we have our Sanctuary Keeper, I think it is. Which one is this from 10? It's the... Maybe it's the Cloister Protect... I can't remember his name. He's got a name.
It's actually the Spectral Keeper.
Oh, I thought you were yawning. Spectral Keeper, that's the one. thought you were yawning. I realized you were doing the the breathing. I was not ready for that.
Yeah. One thing that we're not seeing on Yuna's attack as well is she does 2 swings, so she'll actually deal like 19k damage.
Yeah.
Each swing.
Yeah.
19,
so because
19
the
point
thief
whatever.
has, the thief technically has 2 attacks, one with each little sword that they've got. And so on enemies that have more than 9,999 health, you actually need both hits. We will see that a little bit later. We'll talk about that when we get to the Ixion fight.
Oh my god,
Sorry,
it's the
Ixion.
Spectral Keeper. You need to summon Bahamut.
Without the Hobbit.
That always scares
Right.
me because it looks like he's attacking.
I know, right? Yeah, it always looks like an attack. But it's not. He's just swinging his arms around like...
I mean,
Just
because
going
that's his
for it.
exact attack animation. 10.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh my god, I gotta turn in so quick. Yuna's dead.
yeah. Why? What is that instant ATB?
Yeah,
We're all
that's
dead.
not fair.
Alright, so now that we've done those battles, we can go down and we can punch Barrel Eye in the face. Barrel Eye, who we haven't really seen that much of just yet, other than when we met him briefly in our first Pavel visit. But we didn't really talk to him because we skipped that cutscene. Because the monks had bowed, we were done. We were out of there. So, an interesting difference from the NA version as well is that normally we would pick up some items through here, like there's some remedies over here. If we go right, there's an item through that area as well. But here, we don't need that. We have pretty much almost everything that we need already. So we're not gonna pick up any of those things. We're just gonna keep on rolling. Just gonna keep on going through. So we're gonna do like basically the required part of each puzzle, and then just basically move on with our lives. You know, Yuna's gone through some stuff. She's just gotta move on. Except this puzzle here. This puzzle is really, really difficult and is really, really important. So this puzzle, it does take a little bit of time. It is, generally one that is required, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna run past.
It's a really frustrating puzzle to learn because you gotta be like moving all these platforms around and everything, and
Oh yeah.
it's like kind of time based as well. It's good that
Yeah.
you get to just opt out of it in Japanese.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't need it at all, so there's no point wasting our time with it. In the NA version, you absolutely need it, and it's a little bit finicky. It does take a while to learn. I remember when I was first learning, getting super frustrated, and until I actually watched a video, I was not able to memorize the pattern or anything like that. It was really, really tough. So it took a while. Yeah, usually we'd go down and get that dress sphere, which is the Dark Knight dress sphere, which is really cool. Everyone becomes Batman! That was the worst Batman voice ever. That
That was
not
perfect. Do it again.
Good. No.
I see you
No.
pull onto my roof.
Oh, absolutely not. Alright, this fight's really tough. Oh, so hard. Sorry. That fight is really annoying in NA, so just being able to punch him in the face and watching him go down there just makes me feel good, Makes me feel great. Mateo! He seemed like a nice fellow, but we took him down. We got him out of there. So we do have one more fight in this section. We're gonna see a familiar face. But yeah, after that it starts getting pretty hairy. We got some stuff we gotta do. See what I mean? Like she's already veering. And then you try and fix it and it doesn't work. So yeah, movement in this game is another contributing factor to time loss at times. And even if you have what you think and what you're trying to do as perfect movement, it's not going to work out the way that you want it to. Unfortunately, it's just not. So we're now going to start doing a nice little strategy at the end of each section. So what would be the end of each split, basically, is we're going to start to kill Yuna after she delivers. Don't know why that came out like that. After she delivers like the final hit on the enemy. It does take a little bit of timing, a little bit of practice. It's quite tricky. It is an optimization, so it's not required. So even if we miss it, it doesn't really matter. And I won't be going for it if I think that it's going to kill Yuna before it kills the boss, because that is no bueno. We don't want that. So if I think I've missed my window, I'm just going to leave it. Or if I think that I've done it too, or I might do it too early, I will just leave it. Because we don't want to take those risks. And especially, like, even if you're going for a PB, like, you wouldn't want to take the risk if you think that it's gonna balk your times, or balk a battle, or whatever it may be. But it's kind of satisfying when you can get it to work. And it means that Yuna will be at a lower HP threshold to hit, so the other two will be stronger, and it means that you'll more reliably be able to get Yuna down into crit health. Which is nice and handy. That's what we want. We want it to be easy, we don't want it to be hard. But it's merely an optimization. Just noticed my cat. He's still here. Hey buddy! He's hanging out. Watching speedrun. Okay, so now we have a bit of a boss rush. They're not like back to back, but there's like a boss for each little section that we're going to go, each little area that we're going to go to rather. And each of them are our Aeons. Like we've just taken down Bahamut. We're now going to have to take down quite a number of almost all of the rest of the, except Yojimbo. I don't know why Yojimbo doesn't show. Oh, because he's in the Calmlands area. I'm pretty sure. So you can go and fight him, but he's quite far away. There's no point. We don't need to go and fight him. So we're going back to Besaid. We're going to go take down Balafort, because basically everywhere all around Spira has seen a whole number of fiend incidents, and so now we need to go and save them. We're going to go and save the world again. So here's another little like instance of we have to wait for a cutscene skip. So we have to wait until Shinra starts talking here. Oh, sorry, Yuna. Yuna starts talking to Shinra. And then we can actually skip that cutscene. I don't know what he's going on about. He's going crazy. But yeah, we're going to use the same strats again. And we basically will swap Yuna onto Gunner after we fight Ixion. Which is only in a couple of battles. So once we fight Ixion, we then have the item that we need to be able to use the Gunner Dress Sphere. And we can start just pulling out our gun and shooting. Oh my god. This is why. This is why I don't hold. You can sort of like pre-move on a screen if you like, not quite feather it, but you kind of just like wiggle the controller a little bit. That can help, but it's also not necessarily 100% because sometimes you'll wiggle the control, you'll wiggle the analog stick and it will sometimes still go the wrong way. And so sometimes you'll just wiggle yourself further away from where you need to be going. So we've got Valor here, so we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to get Yuna into crit. We're then going to attack with her. and then we're going to try to take her out if we can. And if we can't, that's okay. If she gets hit with Valor 4 here, usually that's best case scenario. She might die. Nope, she got missed. Unlucky. Oh, Pain missed!
You did that like perfectly, just Pain missed.
Pain missed as well, that was kind of crazy. So Pain is sometimes unreliable with her hits. It's actually kind of wild. That doesn't matter though, because we've already got one of the kills in, so it's not too bad. But sometimes that also happens too. Sometimes you'll go in for the kill on Yuna and you'll just miss. Because that would have normally probably killed. She did have high, she was definitely higher on the threshold of the yellow health than normal. But it's, yeah. It still was probably going to be a kill and would have been fine, but oh well.
we got another 25 burger from Dun Warrow. It says, good luck for the rest of the run, Chico. You got this.
Why did you say my name like that?
Because I was going to say chokocchi. And then the message didn't say chokocchi, so I felt like that was misrepresenting the message.
That's fair.
I parried it.
You did parry it. That was very... I was like, is Sayo okay? Is everything okay? I don't know. That was very cute. That's the D&D crew coming through. Thanks D&D crew. Much love. Thank you for tuning in and watching. So, now we have to take out 2 more. We have to take out a Freet. Come to be a Freet. And then, sorry. I have issues. And then we're also going to take out Ixion. Only 2. There's definitely no more. Those are the only Aeons that exist. So this is a little bit different. We have a bit of a mini game here. But we're basically just gonna not do the mini game. So 1, 2, 3 text boxes. We want to say no, and then we just want to run straight through. So usually you would try to time this so that you don't get caught by the gate guards. But we don't have time for that. We don't care about those guys. We're just gonna go.
We don't have time. It's a bloody speed run.
We don't have bloody time. It's a bloody speed run. So yeah, there's a couple little cutscenes through here. It does feel very slow because you can't skip these. And it's literally just people screaming at you. It's kind of crazy. They just stand there and yell at you. Because you can't get through to any of these points, so we have to... Donna literally just told us that we have to climb the trees, and we've decided not to climb the trees. And we've decided to find every other way possible first until we can climb the trees. This is just something that's forced by the game, so it's not just me being stupid, as per usual. This is just something that's forced by the game. And once you have gone to all 3 points and worked out, oh, okay, we really can't go through, then we try and go back. And as we do, we realize, oh, wait, there's trees. We're going to climb the trees. And now we can get through. So it's one of those things that's like, why did the game do this to us? Like, if we could have just worked it out ourselves, why couldn't we? But I think it's because there's no actual opportunity to jump up there other than in this scenario. There is another way up there, but it's through the airship, I'm pretty sure. By putting in, oh no, that's 10. I don't remember. There's another way to get up there. I can't remember how. Hello, little one. Oh no. Hello, sir. How was your day? Do you like my shrine? I think he does. So this battle is pretty straightforward and it goes the same way as previously. Do you want my lap? Is that what we want? You can have my lap if you want. You can sit there. You're gonna stare at the wall. You're gonna stare at the wall. That's fair. So yeah, this boss battle is pretty straightforward in terms of it goes the same way as the other ones. Basically, you just want to get Yuna into crit health. You then want to attack with Yuna. It only takes one attack, and then we're going to try to kill Yuna off if we can. And if we can't, it's not the end of the world, is it, Whisk? No, it's not. No.
Choco, apparently you have a candle that's on the verge of falling off the desk.
Oh yeah, they're electric candles, so it's fine. There's no fire. They're actually fake candles.
Well, now the whole illusion is just ruined, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I just like them. They're kind of cool. Yeah, they're electric candles. It's alright. But yes, it is hanging on the edge. So I wanted people to be able to see more of the covers. It's just me being chaotic. I apologize. Hello, baby. You say hi to everyone. You don't want to say hi. You want to go. He's gone back to his chair. So thankfully, before this fight with the Aeon, we actually have some fights beforehand, which we love because that means we can safely and comfortably get Yuna into crit without killing her most of the time. Whee, that's a bit low, but that means we can kill her easily, so that's fine. Because thankfully, all of these fights, the Devas, they do their like haste always first. So they have a very set moveset. They'll do haste, and then they'll start going crazy. So because they always do haste first, it means that we can safely just take out the entire fights without taking any damage up until the only one that'll be a little bit scary with 89 health is Ifrit, but it won't be any issue. Most of the time it's fine. Because he's not usually fast enough to whack and kill Yuna. But yeah, otherwise it's just whack, done. So nice. This is what we like. And yeah, we do have a couple of these to get through, so it does take a little bit of time. Thankfully, most of them only have one of these guys in there. Their last one in the set has two. So that's like the whole, like, you get through it. When you're playing casually, you like get through some of these battles and you're like, oh, it's like one after the other after the other. And each time it's only one, and they can be a little bit tricky, depending on your level. Because they do have some annoying moves. I think they've got like Doom and stuff like that. So if you don't know how to deal with that at that point in time, it's a bit tough. But in the last battle, there's two of them. And so you're like, it looks like there's one there. But then all of a sudden, oh, there's two! But for us, it doesn't matter. We're just going to whack. You can send the others in if you want to, it doesn't really matter. It'll just slow down any of their attacks, but they won't usually get to do any anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it's not like you need AP, so it just means that you don't have to cancel the moves and swap around between the girls. It's fine. But now, we're gonna go and punch a fruit in the face. So I'm gonna lock in here just for a moment. Look at her, she pulled out the gun. She's ready to shoot him. Nice. So that's usually how that mechanic will go. Strategy will go of like when you take out Yuna, you'll send Yuna in, you'll wait until she starts running. You don't want the hit to land and then, or the hit not to land before you kill Yuna, because otherwise then you'll just kill Yuna and then the boss is still alive and then you're one party member down. You're in a lot of trouble. It's not fun.
Cool.
So yeah, we only have one more of these to go, these major ones, and then we have a little bit of like a snoozy brain break, which is nice. Means we can talk more about how crappy movement is. You'll be able to see it for yourself. It's not fun. So yeah, basically what is happening in the game is they're just going to each of the temples because fiends are coming out of them. And so by killing the Aeons that are in there, we then are taking out the source of the fiends, basically. Is my understanding anyway. It's not really that well explained. There's a lot of things that are not really that well explained, but this game is awesome. I just don't like to tell you what's going on. So, once we get into this area, this is also where pedestals is. Now, Sayo and I were talking about pedestals before, and how it is kind of the bane of our existences when we run this game. It's not fun. I'm likely going to do a very poor try of pedestals.
It's not a skill. It's not like you.
No, it's not a skill. I know, but
X-2.
it's just awful.
So basically, there's 5 pedestals.
There are
you've got to push.
There are, I guess, optimization to it though.
Yeah. But yeah, there's 5 pedestals up the top floor here. One of them will open the door. The other 4 will give us random encounters. So basically, it's a 1 in 5 for whether or not you'll lose like almost a minute. Maybe closer to like 30 seconds per pedestal.
I'm going to my favorite first. Oh.
Yep. So not that one, unfortunately.
To be fair, I haven't had it unlock on that one in a really long time. Sad. Oh,
So this would
it like
actually
lingered
be
there for a second.
This would actually be like world record's dead. If you were actually going for world record, it's over.
Yeah.
That's how like volatile this is.
I have a feeling it's middle.
Okay, so
You
it's actually probably only closer to like 10 seconds per pedestal. 30
Yeah.
was a bit overkill.
One of the things that oh my god,
Jesus.
I knew it was gonna be middle. One of the things that you can do, depending on which enemies you get through here, depending on how many you get and whatnot, you can get unit into crit during this area, through this area. So if you do happen to get like 1 or 2, you might go, okay, well, let's get unit into crit. But there's no real point because you do have a bit of time to get her into crit in this battle because you also need to steal from Ixion. So that's usually the first thing I do with Yuna. So I'll usually open by stealing with Yuna and whacking her at the same time. It just means that we just buy a bit of time, but we do need to steal before we attack. So sometimes I will steal with each of them once and then hope that we get first round. We get a steal in the first round. And if we don't, then we start to do single steals and then start to get unit down. Because otherwise it starts to get a little bit hairy. This battle can be a little bit tough. So I'm gonna lock in for this one. Okay. Oh my god, that's really unlucky. Yuna? Okay, good. So we got the steal. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more attack on Yuna, and then... Oh, see, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just right a hair too early.
It was just a hair too early. We usually want to wait for the first attack on Ixion, and then we'll take out. My timing's just not good there. Oh, she missed.
That is
Okay.
so
That was really
unlucky.
unlucky. That was really unlucky. But we should be okay here.
It's kind of hard for this boss to actually kill you, unless it
Yeah.
does exactly what it's doing. It sort of focuses. That's fine.
Yeah, we might just prioritize killing
Yeah.
and bringing her back up here. Just because we don't want things to go awry. That was already a hairy enough battle as it was. So she got like the first hit in, but then because we killed before the second hit, because Riku was a lot closer than I thought, it just meant that she didn't get that second hit in, and Ixion has just over the amount of health that we would normally have there. So it just means that, yeah, she needs, Ixion needs 2 hits as opposed to just the 1. But that's how that battle can go a little bit poorly, unfortunately. So we do have a bit of a sleepy cutscene section through here, which means that if you do have any dono reads or anything that you need to say, now is a good time to
No
start shouting about
donos
them.
or anything, but we do have the Jolly Jamboree to shout out, which is the wider event that Syothon is a part of. So that is an initiative run by the folks at Gamers Outreach, who are running their Go-Karts campaign, which is a like an initiative to deploy what's it called? Like kits, like kiosks. That's the word I was looking for. Like gaming kiosks to kids in hospital, so they can play games and socialize and whatnot while they're undergoing their treatments and whatnot. The Jolly Jamboree as an event has raised, let's see, what have we got? It's raised $97,000 so far, and Syothon individually has raised $650, which is epic gaming. So very happy to be a contributing factor to a great cause, and the people at Gamers Outreach are excellent to work with on the 2 occasions that I have worked with them, being this one and just a couple of other streams from earlier this year. Yeah, always a pleasure to work with, and very happy to be holding Syothon as part of the Jolly Jamboree. Up the Jolly Jamboree.
Up the Jolly Jamboree. Yeah, it's a really good initiative because it just gives kids the opportunity to socialize through gaming where they might not have the opportunity to do so due to their treatments. And it's an awesome, like I had a little bit of a read up about it when I found out what the cause was. And yeah, it's just awesome to see that those kinds of initiatives are in place, because otherwise, kids that are stuck in hospital all the times only really have certain people that they can talk to. And so being able to game online, I think is such a great way of being able to talk to people that they wouldn't, normally get to. I think it's just great, because otherwise, yeah, it's I can only imagine how awful it must be. So it brings a bit of light, a bit of fun, a bit of enjoyment. So yeah, obviously if you can support, please do, because it's going towards a great cause.
It's epic.
It's epic.
And any amount of support is appreciated, be it just watching or participating in Syothon, or typing in chat, or very kindly throwing a few dollars to the cause. But even just sending the channel to a friend to watch the remainder of the marathon, which we do still have a whole other day of marathons left.
Oh yeah, we do.
If you type !schedule, you can see some of the other good stuff coming up. We do have Chrono Cross later tonight. We've got Draconan doing Boktai 2 Solar Boy Django as well. That'll be like 5 in the morning in Australia, but it's okay. We got Sonic X.
If you're somewhere else in the world, it might be a better time for you, so
We got Sonic X Shadow Generations by Yuki Layla later. We got Monsters Inc. Scream Team by Rab. And then, how else would you close out a speedrun marathon in the Year of the Dragon, other than Spyro Year of the Dragon?
Yes. by a lovely friend of the channel, friend of the sibling duo, Dactyly. It's gonna be awesome.
This is Dactyly.
Little Dactyly.
This is Dac.
Yes. So yeah, nah, it's great. And it's awesome that like a whole bunch of our like friends of the Syo channel and friends of the speedrunning community have really just come together and have really put on a good show so far. So kudos to everyone for showing up. And yeah, just doing what they can to support an awesome cause. And honestly, I've seen quite a few of my D&D crew and you know, throughout to my work crew as well. So thank you to the work / D&D crew that have kind of shown up to watch and to even just if you didn't donate to just tune in. I appreciate you a lot.
Anything helps. It's epic. It's gaming.
Exactly.
And this is chapter 4, right?
This is the end of chapter 3.
Yeah.
So we're about to go
We've
into
got a
chapter
huge
4.
break in the action, basically.
We do. And chapter 4 is quite honestly, it's gross because there's nothing happens. It's very boring.
I'm obscenely tempted to order like a whole chicken from Gammy Chicken.
Look, honestly, no judgment. You do what you got to do to push through the rest of the weekend. In all honesty.
Yeah. Look, it's no easy job, but someone's got to do it. Yeah, seeing Calabar inhale a large Big Mac meal. Really
It makes one hungry.
got me
Absolutely.
inspired to eat. It's not even that I'm hungry, I'm just inspired to eat.
Oh my god.
I think the Halo 2 music
Yeah.
over the top of that was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
Absolutely. It had the perfect vibe for exactly what Calabar was doing. Absolutely necessary. So we've just had a whole bunch of cutscenes. These are somewhat relevant to the story. They don't really explain anything. Some crazy stuff happens. We find some of the leaders of the world down in the far plane, and we're like, what the hell are you guys doing here? And one of them's like possessed by a guy that looks like our dead ex-boyfriend or our dead boyfriend. And he's not though, because he says that his name is a shoo-in. He's a shoo-in. Sorry, it's not funny.
No, you're right.
Sorry, it's not funny. So yeah, we just kind of go through that, and then we whistle a shooey. No shooey's in here.
Do a shoe, Choco.
No, I only have slippers.
Do a slippy.
A slippy. No, because all the liquid would just come out of the slippy.
Yeah, that's the point. And then you
No.
bring it out into your mouth.
That's disgusting. That's not okay. But yeah, basically, none of that matters. Doesn't
oh my
really
god,
explain
is that
anything.
343 Guilty Spark?
What?
Epic Halo reference, sorry.
Oh. Okay. That's crazy.
I just got Halo on the brain.
You do. After hearing the Halo theme and watching Calabar absolutely demolish that Big Mac
Perform a
meal.
feat greater than Master Chief.
That honestly will go down in history.
Yeah, that might be the that might be the peak.
One of the greatest moments of all time.
It's in the history of the world.
Yeah,
One of the greatest moments.
truly it was. So here we have a couple of little like story beats that we have to like satisfy in order to go like progress through the game. So because I'm going the wrong way. As soon as I saw those two standing there like that, I knew I was going the wrong way. So we need to do this in order to basically get to the next chapter. So I think chapter 4 is relatively long in terms of the things that you can do in it, but in terms of what you actually have to do in it, it's not that long. So we just finished chapter 3, and chapter 4 will kind of just like fly by.
I don't know. I think chapter 4 feels really long.
It feels really long because you're not doing anything. Like, there's no battles through here. Like, really the only battle is the little dragon that you fight before the concert. What?
Nothing.
What?
It's Tom.
Oh, it's Tom.
I
Tom's the little dragon before the
No,
concert.
I'm
yeah.
giggling at stupid
You're
things
giggling
that
at
Tom
stupid
says.
Tom. Classic.
It's not fair. He's not even here.
I know. Stupid Tom. So one of the things that we need to do is go to the Comsphere menu and see what's going on in Spira. So we basically just like, we only get the necessary ones through here. There's 4 necessary ones that we need to click on. And some of them we can skip pretty much immediately, like you see here. And this one we need to watch for a little bit longer. Because if you were playing the game casually, you'd notice, but Shinra starts dropping these little spheres everywhere throughout all the places that you go to in chapter 3, I think it is. And so basically he'll drop one wherever we go, and then we'll basically check in every now and again. And that's actually part of the 100%, is that you'll watch the comm spheres like every time once they're available to you, and basically you'll get story information from watching those for a certain period of time. So this one is one that we have to watch until we get to here, which is Donna's bed. I don't know why she throws a sphere on her bed. It's a little bit weird. But then she talks to us for a little bit, and then from then on, we're like in her house. Whereas some of them have been thrown into the water, and others, I think it's Pavel? Yeah, it's Pavel. And then others are just in their normal spots, and sometimes people will talk to you, sometimes people won't at all. And you just need to like check that it's still there, basically. So there's a whole like, in the 100% guide, there's a whole list of like all the comm spheres that you need to check and when you need to check them and for how long and like that.
I thought you were just gonna say that there's a hole. In the
No.
100% guide, there's just a hole.
There's just a hole. So thankfully, now that we have the dash shoes, which are the item that we're going to use to basically do the same thing as our like first strike that we get from being a thief. We're going to get that on our gunner dress sphere, which we're going to swap Yuna over to very, very soon. But first, we have to do some movement. This is possibly my least favorite part of the run. Other than that, you get a nice little brain break. So basically you switch your brain off and you just move. And you hope that maybe you're going to get a little push from this guy. If he stands behind us. We might get a push from him. Oh, nah, not really that good. That was a little push, but nothing major. Even if you get a push, you might just walk in the wrong direction and then it's all for naught. But because there is so much movement through here, your movement and remembering where to go and what corners to cut and things like that starts to become a little bit of a way to optimize your movement. And, you know, knowing that, you know, Yuna's going to veer this way if you go across this corner or whatever it may be. Like, this is awful movement, but that's just what she's doing at the moment. Sometimes you can't stop that either. It's really, really annoying. But yeah, it becomes a little optimization for when we're going through this section, because the better your movement is, the better that this split is going to be, because it's all movement and all text skipping. So if you can do that well, you're generally fine. But sometimes it's a little bit hard. Like that. Oh goodness. You'll try to make a tiny adjustment and she just goes. Like this? I'm not doing that. She's doing that. Yuna has a mind of her own. I love that also you guys noticed my shrine for those of you who haven't been here since the beginning, you noticed my shrine and then thought that I would put actual literal candles right next to my prized possessions. Do you think I would do that? No, that's insanity. These are fake candles. They just look really cool, okay? But yeah, I would not risk setting my beautiful Final Fantasy X-2s on fire. I have way too many copies of the game. I don't think I can even tell you how I assembled this many. It just kind of happened. Like, some of them are different versions, like one of them is an NA version, one of them's International Last Mission, one's the Korean version, 3 of them are Japanese, and one of them is like a greatest hits Japanese, and then the other 2 are just normal Japanese copies. But yeah, it's just... It just happened. I think one of the lots came in like a set, like it was 10-2 and then 10-2 Last Mission was a set for one of them, but then one of the discs, I think the regular disc was like really scratched, and so then I got another one to make up for it, because it said it was in good condition, but it was not that good. Sometimes that happens. But the International Last Mission one, pristine. That thing hasn't been touched. I can imagine it's because the last mission is it's a bit of a doozy. So I do affectionately call this this split ZZZ because it is really there's not much to do. It's all movement. Well, thanks, Yuna. But we do get to ride the shoe puff, which is nice. We get to ride the shoe puff.
I don't know if you're watching the camera, but I was showing various things around the office.
Around my office?
Yeah, such as your Sonic up the top and the shrine.
My little Sonic? Oh yeah? I'm not watching the camera, but I'll have to watch that back later. Did you get close to the candle that's falling off the...
Yeah, I did do one of those. Just come back and watch this split.
Yeah, I will. I'll come back and watch the sleeper split. That's great. I wonder how much tax fraud Totally committed to be chased this much.
Absolutely none.
Also, shoutouts to this guy that has holes in the front and backs of his pants, but then decided that he wasn't going to wear, like, pants underneath. He was just going to wear underwear. It's very strange.
The donor notifications are coming in. These are not new donors. These have been happening, like...
Oh. Throughout?
Yeah.
Do you want to read any?
No, they're just... It's just, like, replaying them.
Oh, right. That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I don't know. Something has gone wrong in that with that one.
It's freaking out. I love that they didn't know how to translate his little wee wee thing that he does, so they just made him say wee wee in both versions. Like, is it meant to be, like, is he speaking French? But
he's speaking
if it's
French-anese.
French-anese. But that's the thing, like, if it was French, normally in Japanese it would be in katakana, but it's not. It's in hiragana. It's crazy. It's wild. Unheard of, even. Alright, so we do have a nice little mini game coming up here. I do apologize, sire. I am gonna do the thing.
Oh yeah, please do. Max settings,
cool.
max turbo buttons.
Yeah.
Everyone get ready. Chokocchi's about to score a
It's
heater.
gonna be great. So we're back at the cabin and we're about to start a concert, but we're gonna have to, you know, get ready, get dressed, and warm up for the concert. So we have a bit of a mini game to do that with. Now, if you've played this game before, you know exactly what's coming. If you've watched the speedrun before, you know exactly what's coming. I do apologize. It is terrible on the ears, but it's hilarious. Alright, we've done it. This is awful. I'm so sorry in advance. We're just gonna dance. It's bad. It's actually awful. Usually you would actually match during this, but because we have turbo, yeah, we can just turbo all. It's definitely not the worst.
Was that a max
It was.
setting?
Oh no, it was only on the lower setting. That's why. It actually wasn't even that crazy.
That's why it wasn't crazy.
Oh, usually it's way worse. I have it on the lower one.
You gave us some mercy.
Some mercy. That's why we got a good beat. Risky's asleep with his head upside down. He's so cute. So we have one battle and then controller reveal. It's my homunculus.
It's not a homunculus.
It's my version of the homunculus.
Show the controller. Leave it there, leave it there, leave it there. There we go. Give us a spin. Look at that Kiwami. Custom Kiwami.
It's a beautiful custom Kiwami.
I zoomed in.
It's the one that I used for Final Fantasy IX. And to practice for Final Fantasy IX. And it's nicer than my Hori that I've got. It's good. I do like the Hori. It feels good, but the Kiwami feels way better. Yes, it is the one that's the inverse of Dax Kiwami, yes. Yes, I'm the devil to your angle. Because I got the black on top. You got the white on top. So I'm going to do my little menu here and now, just to make things easier. We're going to swap the flame ring off to the dash shoes. And then Riku, we're going to just swap this to this one here. And then that's it. That's our menu. We're done. I do find that some of these PS2 menus are a little bit sticky. They do feel a little bit slow at times. Sometimes they don't feel as smooth. Some of the times if the load's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a load thing or if it's just a menus being sticky thing, but some of them feel cleaner than others. It's a bit strange. But yeah, we have our last battle before we have our concert. It's a bit of a doozy. This one is a bit tricky, but we start to use Trigger Happy, which is what we've been talking about since the beginning of the run. So if you have been here with us since the beginning of the run, firstly, thank you. That was a really hard section to get through, and I'm proud of you all. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's a really long section to get through, so if you're still with us here since the start of the run, honestly, thanks. Because that section is really, really slow, and it does feel really, really long, but we're nearly there, I promise. We're nearly there. So once we get through this battle, we have our concert, and then see what I mean? She'll walk backwards sometimes. That's because I held up. I was too ready. And then it's kind of balls to the wall. Whoa, I went the wrong way. That's fine. Yeah, after this, we don't stop until the end. And I do have safety saves through here, but we should be okay. I am hoping. This is like the safer section in terms of like once you get started, easier. But there are some tricky spots, so we will lock in during the battles just because we do need complete focus. for those sections. So that's we can kind of see him a little bit there. That's the boss that we're going to go and fight. So, I'm going to lock in here just momentarily. So good, so good. That's exactly how we want that fight to go. That was really, really clean. It felt nice, and thankfully no one got attacked and no one lost any health. Because that was, I think it was a miss on Riku or Pain. So thankfully it wasn't Yuna, because if Yuna gets attacked, it slows her down. And Pain, one of them got a crit on Yuna as well, so it meant that we could get her down into crit HP a lot faster too. So that was really, really clean. I'm very happy with that battle, because that can go really bad as well. Thankfully it didn't.
We did get, just before chapter 5 starts, we did get an anonymous 10 burger.
Oh yeah?
No comment or anything like that, but much appreciated, thank you.
No, absolutely. We love an anonymous 10 burger. It's very nice. So we have a couple of cutscenes, and then we do have 1,000 words, which is about 4-ish minutes long, or 3.5 minutes long. It's a tad long, but it's alright. Hmm? But we do a couple little skips through here, and then basically the concept will start very shortly. We don't want to talk to him. Oh, I've never missed totally. That's weird. I've never missed him before. Walked right past him. I mean, I guess it's it was it was foreseen in the earlier mini game where we had to get catnip, walking right past Totally. Goodness. But here, it starts. No. Oh no, I died. Can you hear my voice right now? I'm not singing. It's bad. I've had a long week and I've already done karaoke once this week. It is not happening again. Oh no. I don't know that. I don't know how that works. I have no idea. No, I look like a fool. Oh, goodness.
Shout out to 1,000 lyrics.
Shout out to 1,000 lyrics. I think was that an ASM?
Yeah, it's when I tried to bring up the lyrics to 1,000 words on my phone, but I just typed in 1,000 lyrics and it just didn't give me anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Wharton just mentioned that the cutscene versions between JP and English are actually different. I remember this. Now, sorry, cringe alert. I remember this because I downloaded both versions so that I could create AMVs when I was a teenager. And I would make...
No!
I would make like Linkin Park.
You did not make Linkin Park. You made like
I made Linkin Park
caramel.
AMVs
You made like caramel dancing.
No, I did. I did a Breaking the Habit one.
Oh, you did. Hey, yeah,
yes,
no, you definitely did.
I did a Breaking the Habit one.
Yeah, you did.
I did a Going Under one. Evanescence.
My favorite Linkin Park song, Going Under.
There was a, remember Cascada, Every Time We Touch? There was one of those.
Oh, fucking don't come at me like I'm gonna forget. Every time
Everyone
we touch
had one
by
of those.
Cascada.
Yeah. The other ones. There were a couple of other ones. Really bad too. Really, really bad.
Do you remember that one? It was made by, I don't remember who it was made by. There's no way to remember the name, but it was a Advent Children, Billy Talent Falling Leaves.
Yes, I vividly remember that one because it was like, and it just was like different scenes each time. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, or it was like, it would have like the part where Kadaj turns into Sephiroth, and it was like flicking between him and Sephiroth or something like that. It was like one of those kind of memes.
So based.
That was crazy stuff. Where footage no longer exists. Yeah, no longer exists. I tried to find, as I had this thought the other day of like, oh, I'll try and find my old like AMVs that I used to make when I was younger. I think I deleted my channel like a long time ago, and I can't. It's dead. Those will never be seen.
There's
again,
some feral
thankfully.
shit on YouTube from when people were teenagers, or not even teenagers. Like, I don't think you should have been able to make a YouTube account. When you were like, if you were like 9 to 12 years old, you actually should not have been allowed on YouTube.
No, I agree. There was some crazy things on YouTube back then, back in the day. Unrestricted YouTube.
It's the cringe. And
Yeah.
also, you should have actually needed to pay real life money for Pivot Animator.
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause
Pivot was. Oh,
that
Pivot was. You were a god with Pivot.
I was no.
Yeah.
I never made any Pivot animations.
You don't lie to me right now.
No, I never did. I never made a single one.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
X to doubt.
I didn't torrent asset packs for Pivot Stick Animator.
No one did any of that. Absolutely not.
Do you have Phoenix Downs, by the way? It's really good.
I have a whole bunch.
Okay.
Hello? This is what I mean by sticky menus. I have 19. I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
19? I'm fine.
I'm gonna hard cut this to you. Game over.
I feel like you could make the best montage of me saying stupid shit.
I'll make an
and
AMV.
then please make an AMV of me saying
It'll be,
stupid shit and then said stupid shit happening.
What's the song gonna be? Fuck. What's the one that they did the it'll probably be Numb. I do Numb by Linkin Park.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah,
in
yeah.
the verse there would be you saying like, watch this. And then like at the chorus is just when it all comes like crashing down.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think that's just called a fan cam though.
I think that's called a fan cam, yeah. I can't say I've ever had a fan cam made, so that'd be honestly, it'd be
I'm gonna make a Dactly fan cam.
Oh yeah. What would it be? What would it be around? Like, what would you,
Just
what's the theme?
just various footage of him that I've taken from like 200-300 meters away
Oh
without
yeah.
him actually knowing. Just doing really like benign shit, like looking down at his phone or like just looking up
I think
at
even
like.
I have some of those. Oh really?
Yeah, I did. To be fair, that was a crazy Firefly proxy that you landed.
Mm.
Forgive me for wanting to show my friends doing cool things. I'll just stop.
Just
You know,
stop caring
Syothon's
about my
over.
friends. Damn, Whiskey is absolutely KO'd.
Is he right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's just having a big snooze. But he's so asleep, I just patted him and he didn't react. He's just snoring away. I can hear him snoring.
Okay, at least you can hear him snoring.
No, I can hear him snoring. He's fine. He's not dead.
I was worried.
No, he's alive. He's fine.
Oh man. He's
just fully out.
He's really asleep.
Yeah, he's just having a big snooze. He's a sleepy boy.
Hang on.
You want to finish that sentence?
I'm trying to, okay, because it's like a two-parter, right? So part one
Yeah,
of
go
this is, I got,
We have time.
for Mrs. Siro's birthday, I got her a huge beanbag. And I've already fallen asleep in it.
Nice.
It's really comfy. I might do a sleep in it tonight as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of it. It's just that I've fallen asleep in it already, and it's really nice. It's really comfortable.
Oh, I thought you said it was a two-parter. That felt like a one-parter.
Yeah, it did feel like a one-parter in the end.
Yeah.
It's just that it's calling to me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, do you need a little snooze? You can have a little break if you want. I can hold down the fort.
I don't think there's enough of this game left. I'll wait till the next one's set up and then I'll sleep.
Yeah, fair. You gotta make sure you look after you. Some water.
I gotta eat too, though. I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
Get some bread.
No, the bread went moldy.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It has been too hot recently.
今更何でもいいし
This is another one where we have to wait a while. Now we can skip. Alright, it's time. This is our big boss rush.
The BBR, if you will.
The BBR. This is where it gets pretty heckers. Nice little optimization here is you can actually start walking a little bit early before we actually get to like the full proper view of Yuna. You can actually start walking about now. And so if you know which way to hold, you can start re-walking.
It's like the one
nice.
time where she consistently like walks in the direction that you
Yeah.
want to stick.
I think it's because she's like already on the screen and it flows from like partial cutscene to like movement. I don't know. It's weird.
Right.
I think
First
it's
boss.
when you're loading in from black. that it's
Second
weird.
hardest of the following Dark Aeon
this is
fights.
tricky.
I kind of spoiled that it was Dark Aeons, but it's Shiva.
Oh! Alright, we kind of already knew. Alright, I'm gonna lock in.
Whoa!
That was huge,
super
huge, huge.
unfortunate.
Little huge crit.
Yeah, so that was really messed up.
That was not okay. She
yeah,
had
so-
81 health.
Both of those attacks on Yuna crit, which is like unheard of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
alright.
particularly unlucky there.
That's yeah.
Because like
that's,
what like critting
not-
already is not good because exactly that happens. Like Yuna just gets dropped too low.
Yeah. But 2 crits, like the double crit,
the double
is
crit.
really unlucky.
Yeah. Alright, up next
Oh.
is probably the hardest fight in the whole game. So
This one actually, I don't mind too much. I actually find the Shiva fight harder because you actually have to get her into crit. Whereas thankfully there, like, the worst part was that she died. But at
Yeah.
least now she's at probably the highest threshold of crit health.
yeah, that part's okay.
So
But
it's
yeah,
actually pretty safe.
we got 3 targets here. So one of them has 9,999 health, or a bit lower. One of them has just over 10,000, so they're going to need a few extra attacks from the girls. And the other one's got
A little bit more than that.
yeah, a little bit more than that. So the
I think
strat
it's like
is
15k-ish.
the strat is to throw a grenade, that kills one. Attack with the other girls to kill the other, and then trigger happy for the last one. So let's see how we go. Really good opening.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna send in some attacks.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
perfect. That's
Yeah.
literally a perfect fight. So the
That was
reason we
very
want to
clean.
trigger happy instead of doing an attack, it's technically attacking is optimal, but attacks can miss, whereas trigger happy can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, ideally we want to do trigger happy there just so that we don't risk the miss, but I mean, if you were on some kind of crazy pace and you were like, damn, I just need like a few more seconds, you might risk it.
It's like
but
it's like not even half a second. I think it's like 0.2 seconds.
yeah, it's not enough. Yeah,
I would
wouldn't
never
do it.
risk it unless world record was like 3:13 and I was trying to go for it.
Yeah. It's not really worth it, but I don't know, if you like messing around and restarting your runs because you missed
restart
and
the
died.
run 3 hours
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
I
all
probably
means.
shouldn't say that's the hardest fight of the run. It's one of the riskiest, I would say.
Yeah. Just because there are moments where like someone can get focused if they get their turns in quick enough. Thankfully, most of the time that doesn't happen, but it can happen. So, otherwise, a lot of it is literally just this. You're just gonna do, and that's it. And see, Anima actually got her attack off then. Her attack was about to hit someone, but I managed to shoot fast enough, so thankfully nothing happened.
Anima's so hard in English. You just
I
look
know.
in and shoot it.
Yeah. We just pull out the gun and shoot him. So yeah, that's the Dark Aeons all done, and now we don't have any more Aeons to fight. But we have some other things to fight. Oh no. LeBlanc is here again. Hello, LeBlanc.
Hello, says Corey.
Hello! So now that we have Yuna in crit, we basically keep her in crit all the way up until the last 2 fights. We're going to try a little optimization here of walking. We're going to just walk on through the gate if we can. I'm going to hope this works. Yep, very nice. So if you get the right timing on that, you can just walk straight through. Sometimes if you miss that timing, you have to wait. It's a little bit frustrating, but now we have to put in these codes. Well, these little music notes, so that we can break the seal on each door. Otherwise, we have to fight a big guardian that's not very nice. We do have to, you know, potentially fight it later, but, you know, we'll see. Hopefully not. I'm messing around. We absolutely do have to fight it. But we have a strategy. And thankfully this is not like a random thing either. These are decided already. So it's always the same pattern with the keys. We're always putting in the same melody. And then thankfully we can just bypass these 2 gates that we're getting through here. But in JP, because we're very, very strong with Trigger Happy, we can actually bypass doing the next lot of the puzzle using Catnip and Trigger Happy. It's very nice, very clean. We love it. Getting to this point in the game always feels really nice because you're past a lot of tough battles. There are a couple more to come, but a lot of the time you're past a lot of getting Yuna into crit health and that riskiness that comes with that. We do have to do it a little bit at the end, but it's probably nowhere near as risky as it usually is in earlier battles as well.
待って今気になるそうだ
So we need 15 hits on this next boss. We usually won't get it with the first round. We're actually going to need 2 rounds of Trigger Happy. It is a little bit stressful. So once we get to this little boss fight, I will lock in once more. Hey, sleepy boy, you having dreams? I just saw him do this with his little feet. Started running.
機関士は俺に任せとけ。ヌージは
船長
ああ、向いてそうだ。
Oh, sorry, I spooked you. Did I wake
素
you?
人に船を任せるとはな。
I wrote down where all my saves are, so that's what I'm just crossing off
黙
where
ってふんぞり返って
where I'm up
それ
to.
らしく見えるって。
ぴったり。
I made sure that I had plenty of saves, just so that I was 100% safe, ready for anything. Because in this game, truly anything can happen.
はい。せ。
Alright, so normally in the NA version you would do this puzzle again, and this is it's all just memory. So if you eventually remember if you can remember like where you need to go for each thing, it's fine. It just takes a little bit of time, and it's, you know, you have to listen to the tune over and over again, so it does take a bit of time. But in JP, we don't need to do that. So we just kind of break the puzzle, and then we get this boss that we have to fight. This is an optional boss. You don't really get anything from it either.
みんな頑張ろう。
Is it going for Yuna? Nope. Okay, that's fine. So Yuna will get a second turn. Okay. Whew, whew, that was really stressful. I wasn't okay with that. Yeah, that was not good. I don't know why, that felt like I needed more, like I felt like I was about to get attacked, but I think it was still charging for a little bit, so it was okay. But yeah, so you need 15 hits on Azitahaka, that's the name of this boss here. It does take 2 rounds, so it can be a little bit stressful. It will feel like you are going to lose, and we do leave whoever dies there dead. It's just what we have to do because it's easier that way. And it means that we'll get a little bit beefy, but it's quicker than having to revive them. And we don't really need them for the next couple of battles. They will get an auto revive in like 3 battles. But we just leave them down. It's fine. We'll survive. We'll survive without them. Yeah, I've actually never seen this crash. There's some talk in the chat right now about how HD has a tendency to crash. So the difficulty with running different versions of the game is that they have different quirks. I've only just recently experienced an audio glitch on this game, and I don't know how I made it happen. I did record it though, so I'll have to post it somewhere at some point. But during one of the first scene where Yuna sings on top of the ship, she's doing the la la scene right after you get catnip. There was no background music, so usually you have that tune. I recently, when I did one of my practice runs, was recording it, and yeah, there was no background music. It was just the like weird airship noises, and then her just going la la la, and it sounded really weird. It freaked me out. But otherwise, I've never really had anything crash on PS2. So, and I've played this game a lot. HD is notorious for crashing. Oh, interesting. So maybe no BGM is like it's a common, yeah. Well, I was worried about crashes too. When that happened, I'd never experienced it before, so I thought, oh, maybe this is gonna make the game crash, but it thankfully didn't. So yeah, well, that's good to know. It happens in the 100% run as well. But yeah, no, HD is, although it's really, really fun to run, and I actually quite enjoy running Tensu HD, I prefer no creature creator. I'm one of those people. But it does have a really bad tendency to crash, and it seems to crash in really similar places each time, which makes it really, really frustrating. when you're on a good pace, you're doing really well, and you're in the heat of a battle where you haven't saved recently or something like that. Thankfully it has autosave, but still, sometimes it doesn't bring you up to the right moment that you want to be at. Which, but yeah, it is a little bit frustrating when it crashes and it just completely ruins your pace. That's the one thing about HD that I really don't like. And there is a patch that helps make it more stable, but it doesn't fix everything entirely, which is very sad. I haven't really seen anything that fixes it 100%. This is the classic, I don't like your plan, it sucks scene. We love this scene. It's great. Yuna does one of her, like, I want to say famous speeches, but her iconic speeches, that's the one I'm looking for. Her iconic speeches. Motivational. She's firing up the troops, getting them ready. But it's also sad. Oh yeah, we only have 5 more battles. It's crazy. We got 5 more fights to go. We're nearly there, Mr. Syo Television.
We're literally almost there. We're gaming.
We are gaming. My notes say gaming from here on. It's just gaming over and over again. To prove that these are fake candles. Yeah, fake candles. Whoa.
Put it upside down above your head.
Upside down above my head.
Or it's real. Don't eat it. What are you doing? Okay, that might be a fake candle.
Yeah. It's a fake candle. Look, I can, oh! Don't play with fire, kids.
You can do that on a real candle anyway.
You can, but it's gonna hurt you.
You just gotta get, like get your parents' cooking oil, and then put, dip your finger in it, and then put your finger on the candle.
Just stop that. Don't do any of that.
To test if it's real.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm not
It's very
taking
dangerous.
responsibility. Okay.
Because it's tasty. Wharton in JP, she actually says, I refuse or I reject it. She basically rejects his plan, so she basically says, rejection! She doesn't actually say it sucks.
Oh.
I just love that the culmination of this game is like, oh, we could have all these cool things at work and like, you know, do whatever. But we're gonna fix this with love. We could just take this whole thing apart, but we're gonna fix this with love. That's the answer. The answer is love. Oh boy. Checking in on my sleepy boy. He's fine. You're awake now. Just hanging out. Strange man. He's been here with us the whole time. He's been hanging out. He's been watching the stream. He's loving it. He's loving the Jolly Jamboree. Loving Syothon. He's having a great time. And I hope everyone at home is too. We've got a couple more high-octane battles. And then we're done. I'll be excited to get these headphones off my head. Been on me all day. Just doing practice this morning. Practice for individual battles. Especially, I was practicing the the Killiker fight, the YSLS-0, little robot that punches us in the face. That one's one of the trickier ones, so I'm really glad that I could nail that one because it is one of the toughest ones to nail the timing on. These battles, however, are a little bit less. They're involved, but in a different way. It's not so much timing, it's more you need to focus. Particularly with the leg fight, so I probably won't have the time to explain it later, so I'll explain it now. But we have a series of fights that focus on different parts of Vegnagun. We start off with the tail, we move to the leg, and then the core, and then we go to the head, and then we fight Shuyin. Those are our last 5 battles. The first 3 fights, we maintain our crit health unit, which is nice, and whoever else is dead maintains. Yeah, you're okay. Oh goodness, the first one is relatively simple. We just trigger happy as normal. In the second fight is the leg fight. We need to shoot only twice. If we shoot any more than twice, we basically die, and it's not fun because basically it will do well. We can die. There is a very high chance that we will die, because it does these these counter attacks. And they're random. So we could get a shield. We could get a shell on itself, or we could get I don't know, something that blows us up immediately. And it's not fun because sometimes it just kills your entire party, and then that's it. You're done. That's your run dead. But this one is nice and easy. We can just trigger happy, shoot. Easy, done. Nice and simple. So this is where we have to only shoot twice, and then for all the other ones we just shoot as many times as we can. But for the last 2 fights we do have to get Yuna back into crit health each time, which is where it can be tricky. Because the last 2 bosses have some really, really nasty attacks, and it can just end your run. So that's why this game is so volatile. We do use relatively safe strats, but because the movesets of the enemies are so volatile, it does just mean that even though what we're doing is standard and straightforward, the other variables are what make it so deadly. For our speed and our time. So for this battle, I will lock in a little bit. Just because I do just need to very carefully shoot only twice. And then after that we can just go. Okay, that's done. So that's one of the scariest parts. And we got through it, we made it. Whew. Very stressful. It doesn't look stressful, but it feels really, really stressful. Every time I get to that battle, I'm like hyper focused, just hone in real close on that one. So we have one more that we get to take advantage of, being in crit health. Makes it nice and simple. And then we have to get her back into crit health again and start using our grenades once more. Only for the first one, at least. For whatever reason, those 2 couple of lines of dialogue are really easy to text lock. Don't know what it is, but I tend to text lock them every time, so I try and do those a little bit carefully. Are you comfortable, sir?
Right. とどめは任せて。
Right. So that one is one where you can also actually get like counter-attacked if you don't take out the two little side feelers first. So those two little legs that are sitting on the platform will actually do counter-attacks, but thankfully because we take out the boss so quickly, we actually don't have to worry about that at all.
Somehow Syo returned.
Somehow he returned.
Sorry, we're getting set up for the next run.
Oh, that's alright.
I missed some parts.
That is A-okay. I was just going through the trickier ones through here, and then we have two more, and then we're pretty much all good, really. We're nearly there.
Yeah, final boss, I guess we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but final boss does have like a really frustrating quirk because you get a full heal before it, which is like the last thing that you want in JP.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting the full heal before the last two fights is really, really annoying. I understand why the game is nice to you and does that for you so that you don't have to go all the way back or use all your items, but man, just let me live my life, honestly.
Version.
Grow
just
up.
Let him, yeah, grow up.
Yeah, just grow up. Let me live my life.
Let him do it for the Japanese version.
I don't know. It is strange that even in the Japanese version that exists as well, because it feels like one of those things that would only be in the NA version.
How did they not foresee that for Japanese speedrunners? You know.
Literally, like, why didn't they think ahead and be like, nah, let's just bully the absolute shit out of our players.
Alright, time for some A1 gaming.
Lock it in. We're a top tier gaming.
So yeah, there's 3 targets to take out here.
Yep.
2 of them will counter in certain situations, and they have 9,999 health each, which is perfect to throw a grenade. And then you've got the remaining head, which I think takes 2 shots further than that. I can't remember. It's 1 or 2 shots.
I can't remember. I just shoot the shit out of them. The grenade will take out both of the first enemies like immediately, so I don't need to do anything further. And then I will just shoot the absolute shit out of the main body. But yeah, I'm gonna lock into this so I can do it well. Hope that Riku doesn't double crit me again. Touch wood. Who's gonna die? That's fine, no one dies.
Beautiful. Literally a perfect fight.
Nice and clean. Nice and clean.
Simple and clean even.
Bit of a Kingdom Hearts throwback. And you know what? Shout outs to our Kingdom Hearts runners. They did a bloody good job. It was good to see some more JRPG representation through here. Along with Conical Flak. Doing great work. So yeah, this is our last battle. We do have a little cutscene to sum up the story. Basically, we're fixing things with love. That's all you need to know. That's really it. It's pretty piss poor, but I don't know. I loved it when I was growing up. It was so silly, but it was just like, you know what? I vibe with this. It's great. So our last battle, we have to get Yuna back into crit health. Unfortunately, we do get a nice heal here that isn't so nice in JP. It's very nice in the NA version. In JP, not so nice. Because we need that crit health, but Shuyin generally won't get to any of his overdrives before we hit that point. So usually we can get in easy. We don't need to throw any more grenades either, so we just get into crit health and we just trigger happy as quickly as we can. Thankfully, Riku's been pretty consistent with taking Yuna down, so I haven't needed to use Pain 2, so hopefully we can do it with just one, swap back to Yuna, and then we should be fine. That's the goal.
でも君を救えなくて
Little fun fact for you as well. Len, who is Shuyin's Yuna, basically, in his his timeline from when he died, is voiced by the singer of the songs that you hear. So she's actually voiced by Kodakumi, who sang both Real Emotion and 1000 Words for the game, and it's one of my favorite little fun facts about the game. I think it's like one of her only voice acting roles in a video game. Don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. But she's cool. She was one of my favorite artists growing up. So and I think this was one of the things that got me into her music. So you know, shaped my taste in music, shaped a lot of things. But we're gonna lock in. Oh shit! It is Len. You are not Len. Favorite. Ikuzo. Lock it in.
Crit and then shoot Shuyin.
Shoot him.
ダメだ心を閉ざしてるもうやめて周囲
気を抜く
Oh, hold on. I was letting ATBs bleed there, which was not good. Generally, you don't want to do that. I actually thought I had pressed circle in, but I'd pressed triangle and swapped back to Yuna instead.
I was wondering what happened.
I was so focused on Shuyin and what he was doing that I did not focus on what I needed to be doing.
That's time.
So I was worried. But that was time. Yeah, that's time.
Excellent.
Very nice. Honestly, that's Final Fantasy X too. In a real run, you would also have to watch the credits because there is one little section where, as Sayo is very familiar with, you can actually press circle and engage a second cutscene. So,
you motherfucker. Thanks for reminding me.
It can happen. Yeah. So otherwise you would normally watch the credits and your final time is at the end.
Yeah.
But because we're just showcasing this for a marathon and our run is also incredibly invalid, yeah, it just means that we will finish here in this scenario. I'm glad that I got to showcase this run again.
The credits, yeah.
Yeah, there's no point. And we've heard the song already. We don't need to hear it again. I'll listen to it later in my own time and just jam. I'll check it out.
Well, thank you, Chokocchi, for showcasing the game and showing it off incredibly well as well. There were some very minor hiccups, however.
Pretty major hiccups. I would...
Against all odds, the run still finished.
Against all odds. But yeah, just want to thank Sayo for having me. Obviously, this is a run that I love a lot and I've played a lot, but I am intimately familiar with its quirks and difficulties. And sometimes you'll just have this happen. Some of these have been little misinputs, you know, and some, input errors and things like that. But I am really happy that I could showcase this game again in some kind of capacity it's pretty decent. This isn't the worst. I'm pretty happy with it, apart from the little hiccups. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, thank you for having me on, and I'm really happy to be supporting a great cause, and yeah, just showcasing this run again and talking about a game that I love very much. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Now, Chokocchi, the people have been asking. They're dying to know.
Yeah?
They've been hounding me all stream.
Oh,
they want to know
That's kind of crazy. What have I been hounding you about?
Where can we see more chokocchi gaming?
Well, you can see a bit more chokocchi gaming over on my Twitch channel. I do have a YouTube where I upload the VODs and stuff like that as well, but I don't use it as much. And hopefully, you will be seeing me a little bit over the summer break. So watch that space, because I'll be chokocchi gaming. I'll be back at it. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully seeing some of you there. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
There's going to be some chokocchi gaming. All right,
There's going to be some chokocchi gaming.
I will leave you to it unless you have any other sort of final words or anything along those lines that you'd like to...
Just thanks. Thanks, Sayo.
Thanks. And thanks to you.
No, thanks to you.
And thanks to you. And
Thanks, everyone.
with that, we are going to move it over to the intermission screen, and we're going to get everything set up for the next round. It's going to be Chrono Cross by Kenora. We'll get that all set up, and we'll be back momentarily. Everyone say goodbye to chokocchi. Goodbye, chokocchi.
Bye-bye.
Bye, chokocchi.
Goodbye. Go back to the shrine.
Abidum. Excellent work. All right, now it's time to get